Hey, everybody, I'm Mike,
I'm Tim.
And I'm Reed.
Yes.
and this is the Board Game Rundown, and at least two of us are live from our basements as we cover games from top to bottom, and apparently in the party room as well.
Yeah, I'm at a rave currently. Let's see, there
Oh,
it goes again.
I see that. Wow. Hopefully you brought extra waters for everybody.
Yeah, waters. I got these candy necklaces and, all kinds of whatever other rave stuff you might need. Assuming
Already
Trevor is
getting
not
weird.
watching now. But thank you for watching, Trevor. Tomorrow.
Thanks, everybody, for watching, and thanks, Reed, for joining us again.
Oh my gosh. Reed is one of my favorite guests. Well, honest, that's not really fair to say to all of our other guests, but Reed and I we have so much in common on like nerd things. Yeah, if we lived like locally to each other, he'd be so sick of me because I'd always be trying to hang out with him. Because we just have so much stuff in common. But
So much to catch up on. So many shows.
for reals. And we got Andrew, we got Wayne. Really
We got
excited.
a fun list.
Oh my god, the lists are awesome. I'm really excited because we're getting we're gonna get to play Wine Cellar soon, which is Andrew Styles' new game. Reed, I got a question. It's gonna make you sad. Why aren't you at Gamma? I'm really glad you're here, but why aren't you at Gamma?
I could only do a certain amount of cons per year. I think as with all of us, we have full-time jobs and vacation days. So
Totally fair.
so I'm going to Origins. I'm going to QsCon. I went to Decepticon. Going to Breakout Con, and went to Niagara. So I don't know. We'll see what else I can fit in there, but
Sure.
yeah.
It is a busy week. Dice Tower West going on too.
Oh yeah, that too.
With Gamma, with the days of the weekdays that they pick, it definitely makes it hard for us full-time jobbers to pull off. However, I do want to say shout out to those that are in Louisville currently at Gamma. As many may know, the bourbon capital of the world. This is called Whiskey Wednesday, and I went ahead and picked up a classic, Angel's Envy, because I am envious of those currently at Gamma Expo.
Oh, look at you.
So, cheers to them.
Well, hey, wild turkey.
What's Reed got over there?
I got. I'm kind of cheating here. I've got Smirnoff Ice.
Nice.
That's not cheating.
No,
We don't yuck your yum here, unless it was like Zima. We'd be like, really, Zima? You got to put Jolly Ranchers in Zima to make it taste good. But that's an old, early 2000s trick.
It's an old rave drink.
It is. Apparently, there was a party I didn't even know about. Holy cow! You get some Smirnoff raspberry and Sprite.
You've been going to the wrong bars in Indiana, Mike. Is all I'm saying.
Well, hey, we just had a discussion about how I went to some bars in Windsor back in the day because you get in the bars there when you're 19. So
Oh, right on.
that's what we did at 19, 20.
And in Ontario, they went to Quebec because it's 18 there.
Oh, look at that.
Of course. We weren't privy to that info. Apparently, that info did not make it down to Indiana.
It did
And
not.
plus, Windsor is only about a 3.5 hour drive from here.
Well, there you go.
So,
Yeah.
So, Reed, you're working on something new, and I think people are going to quickly realize it is what influenced your topic tonight.
All right. Yeah. I this is not the final cover art, but I got Rune Beasts right here.
Yes.
For those that like deck building, it's. I mean, this is not the die that's going to be in the copy, but it's going to be big like this.
Whoa.
Who doesn't like a big D20 to roll, right?
Uh-huh. For sure. I pop it.
Did you say that is actual size?
What it might be slightly smaller, but it's gonna be a big. Yeah, I don't want anyone to get hurt. Like this could honestly hurt somebody.
No.
I'm
Our game
hurt
group is
that I don't have a
dangerous.
die that big somewhere here. My God. So tell us. We know it's got creatures. We know it's got some deck building. What else do we need to know?
So it's a little bit of a nod to kind of the classic deck builder, where it's got a lot of the same kind of mechanics that you're familiar with, but you have to tether all the Rune Beasts. If that sounds.
All right, so we're gonna recruit Rune Beasts and tie them up. Got it. Go on.
You got it. So you're capturing and summoning all these beasts. They're fighting beasts in the market, and you got to roll this chunky d20 to try and capture them.
Nice.
Nice.
So it's got a capture mechanic. It's got an evolution mechanic, so you can turn your Rune Beasts into stronger Rune Beasts, and it's even got some legendaries, some foils.
Ooh.
Which are kind of fancy. So I don't know if that looks familiar, but that's my. This is the creature version of my game logo, or my game company logo.
Are those so Reed, the showdowns to win the points, are those basically like highest attack value? Is it like that?
It.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and of course there's types. So there's weak. Basically, here I'll show you. So you've got creatures that have their natural power here in the bottom left corner, but they've got a weakened power according to what they're facing. So if you want to counter people, you can try and get beasts from that type to try and mess people up and win the battles. And effectively, if you win enough battles, you win the game. But most of the game is about engine building and building up your deck so that you can win those battles.
Right.
So if the creature from your Paranoia Rising logo were to rise up, that's what it would look like. Serpentine.
Yes.
Or is that just a variant? Because I see the eyes.
Yeah. This is exactly what it would be, because to be good at social deduction, you got to be a snake.
Nice.
That is true. That is true. And then you can deceive people when they trust you and defy their souls, bruh. So I was trying to go off of that card.
And so lots of fun little foils. So we've got some final art here on some of these beasts.
Wicked.
You're seeing it here first.
Nice.
Here we go.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Of course, you've got Three-Eyed Frog, because why not?
He looks so zen.
Yes, he does.
And maybe my personal favorite, Nom Noms.
Nom Nom.
Yes.
Oh my God. If you do not have a Nom Nom plushie to go with the Kickstarter, you are missing out.
You know, I'll get on that. Of course, Nom Noms evolves from Noms.
Oh, of course. As he should. Yes. Ooh.
Yeah, Dave's got a very important question.
Great question.
You sent that to me. Where the heck did that Right here.
Awesome.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Bam. Probably easier if you're
right
on
there.
PC to copy and
That's
paste
where you can see
that. But also, I have your BGG. So there you go. You got a fan now.
Woo, first fan. I haven't really started marketing this one yet. So it's really, you're seeing it here first, although those that were in Atlanta for Decepticon got to try out a demo.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
it really comes out of kind of a love for these creature collecting games, and I'm not going to go in depth on which ones specifically, because I don't want to.
I think people can kind of make their own conclusions, right?
Awesome. Thanks,
Dave.
Dave.
I think you'll be able to easily play this at QSCon as well if you'd like that shot. As Reed will be there with us. Well, not with us, but he'll be there and we'll also be there, you know.
Yes. We'll be there simultaneously.
So, going to be awesome.
And it's going to be really hard for Reed to avoid us because that con ain't that big. So he's going to be stuck playing some games with us.
I know. The last time Reed taught me one of his games, I had a terrible time. I won't shut up about it, in fact. So
right. But then the last time you played a game with Reed, you fell asleep at the table. You flipped your hidden identity over. Never mind that it was like 3 a.m. on one of the last days of Origins. That doesn't matter.
I think it started at 3 a.m. I think it ended at like 6 a.m.
Oh my God, we were up so late.
And to continue the sarcasm, the Rossies are also terrible play testers as well. So you definitely don't want them to play test any game you make. It'll probably end up being good. So.
Oh wow.
Wow. I will say, Mike, last time I saw you guys, you did get me. You did get me started on Thunder Road, and I just spent a good amount of money.
Yeah,
Thunder Road.
Nice.
Thunder Road is so good. I love it.
I'm the one that actually still prefers Heat over Thunder Road, but Thunder Road is a lot of fun. You end up with stories to tell.
Well, Heat's a race.
The time. Well, yeah, Heat's a race, whereas Thunder Road is chaos, and then someone limps across the finish line. But that's fine. I still will never forget when 2 consecutive people ramped into a helicopter.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how would you ever forget that?
Uh-huh.
And now it's got Tina Turner. So
who runs Bartertown? That's all I need to know. Let's go. Yeah. That'll be the greatest legs in board gaming then, right?
Is that a playable character?
If it's not, we're missing out.
Exactly. Get on it, Restoration.
I could be Master Blaster. Right. Thank you, David.
I want that pre-painted miniature. Yeah. All right. Good stuff. So obviously we're excited about Rune Beasts because, like I said, still talking about that play of Vigilante. And of course, Catnip Auction House was a ton of fun. And who will ever forget Mubaka? Just saying. I mean...
There's a very good chance that if you're at Gen Con this year, you will be able to buy Catnip Auction House at the Board Game Rundown booth. Just saying. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. It's definitely not a spoiler for next week either, as James from Tin Robot will be joining us.
We'll have James on. And we've been raving about his game that's coming to Kickstarter really soon, which is Garden Geckos. We just love the hell out of it, and also spawned our greatest thumbnail for a show ever.
The Bob Gecko, I love it.
The Bob Gecko.
Oh my God, I have to get that up. In case anybody has not seen it, I will oblige.
Yeah, so anyways, Garden Gecko is really good game. So while Mike is looking for that picture, Reed, are you self-publishing then, Rune Beasts?
I am, yeah. It's going to be my second game under Paranoia Rising Games, which is weird because it's not social deduction, but
it is deck building, and Vigilante has a fair amount. I mean, if you're not deck building, you're Vigilante, you're not doing it right, So.
Yeah, true.
You still looking for that thing, Mike? I thought you had it by now.
No, I got it.
Okay.
The question: Does Bob Gecko being in that game make it so that it can be on my list?
Well, now, once it's Bob is involved, it definitely becomes a creature.
We did say fictional creatures, but the thing is like Bob Gecko exists. Like
that's a thing.
It's not fictional anymore.
Yeah, it was weird that Bob took his shirt off in the studio that day and did the thing. It was, but hey,
Oh my God.
How legends are born.
It was very weird.
Play Couch Mike for 2 and get 10 comfort points. Put Couch Mike in that deck.
It's my attempt at.
There it is.
So yeah, here is the post, and just the greatest thing ever. And then
It's never not funny.
And it spawned a couple other things too.
Yeah.
I think that
find
video
those.
thumbnail is just art. Like that is a masterpiece.
Thank God James thought it was funny too, because I was like, "Hey man, just so you know, we're doing this and it's hilarious." And he's like, "Oh my God," because that could have gone like really. I don't want to say badly, but if somebody was too self-serious, they could be like, "Why are they ruining my box art?" Because that's really nice box art.
It is.
I don't see how anyone could call it ruining.
Agreed.
It's
agreed. It's a parody of a great box art. Right.
Oh. So
because of Reed's game that he's working on developing it'll be out next year or crowdfunding next year. He picked creature board games top 5 because when Reed comes on, we got to spice it up. We got to zhuzh it up a little bit. And then we're doing not just top 5 creature board games, but we're going to do top 5 creatures that are from.
I just had to throw that in the middle of someone talking.
It's so good. So good.
This is going to be like the Century Golem edition to like the Century Spice Road, I think.
Yeah. We get the Bob.
Are you saying Bob is a golem?
No, that's not what I said, Bob.
But it's totally what Mike said. But yeah, so we're going to do top 5 creature board games, but because Reed's here, we got to double it up. We got to make it extra exciting. So we're doing top 5 creatures. And these creatures can be from movie, TV, video games, right? Basically. And the rules for creatures basically were fictional and just like not human, right? So there's a lot of options here. I got really nervous when somebody was trying to eliminate bipedal. I'm like, seriously?
Yeah, I don't know. I was reaching. I thought if it was too human-like, I was like, it's not too human-y.
Totally fair. Like Mr. Spock is probably too human, right? But like, not to step on anybody's list, but there's a certain 7-foot tall hairy character from Star Wars that I would say counts as a creature, even though he's kind of humanoid. Dave, you're right. Well, can't be a robot, so it can't be on the Seppi list.
Can't be a robot. That's correct. That is a fact. I also said the bipedal comment and then looked at my list and realized it would have canceled the entire thing. So it's not a great thing to say.
Yeah.
I was trying to doubt my own list.
You were, man. You were.
We'll see. It's going to be interesting. I'm
coming strong. Feel good about your list.
Guys have. I'm excited to see what you guys have.
Yeah, I know Reed's gonna have a good list.
Oh yeah.
Well, even when I crap on my list, I got something for you. So, all right, let's get this thing started. Tim, are you going to kick this off and then swirl back to me?
I sure as hell will.
Okay then. Top 5 creatures in board games and other media, I guess.
All right, so I'll do my board game first, and then I will do my creature. Is that cool?
Yep.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, well, it's funny, Reed, that you say Century Golem Edition because the golems from Century are awesome. Those are big, amazing creatures, fantastic artwork, really well represented. And unlike some of the other creatures on my list, these guys seem very gentle, you know what I mean? And very pleasant. Like, I don't think any of these golems are wreaking havoc. And also, it's a really great game. Spoiler alert, I've never just played Century. I've only played the Golem edition. Wow. It's one I own. It's awesome. It looks great. And yeah, great game. Great game. Really cool monsters. Amazing artwork. Creatures. Really cool creatures.
Indeed.
It's hilarious you picked that.
Well, it's funny you said that, and I was like, oh, well, I better just say that one first. So it's already been hinted at. Now, my number 5 creature, I'm going to go with the most obvious one in pop culture right now. And it might be one of the, I don't know, it may not be the largest creature on my list, but it's pretty big. And that is a Shai-Hulud from Dune. One of the sandworms from Dune, the Shai-Hulud. Yeah, I got to be a nerd and say like the Fremen name for him. But yeah, the gigantic sandworms from Dune, amazing creatures.
Wait,
what?
This is not because of the popcorn bucket.
I was thinking.
Hold on. Extra butter. Hold the popcorn. Listen, I might have a new love of my life. But in all seriousness, the David Lynch version, right, is basically like those sandworms are basically the sandworms from Beetlejuice has the same sandworms. And even though it does sort of resemble like a anus with teeth, the way that Denis Villeneuve does those sandworms, I mean, they look awesome. Like in the theater, like you just feel everything around you like shaking when they're, coming. It's really awesome. Yeah, that bucket is silly. They're very cool. They're epic creatures, right? I mean, everybody, whether you've seen Dune or not, you would probably get the reference, or you might even go, well, that's the thing from Beetlejuice. And you're like, good enough. But just about everybody gets the reference. If you said sandworms from Dune, that's like the one thing that people that have no idea about Dune probably know. It's like, oh, the big worm things, right? Yeah. And they're so important. The spice must flow. Spoiler alert, sandworms make spice. It's badass. They're super cool. I love them. I was fascinated. When I saw that 1984 Dune, I wanted to ride a sandworm. I thought that was like the best mode of travel like I've ever seen, short of like getting in the Millennium Falcon and like flying around. It would be like Falcon, sandworm, TARDIS. Because the sandworms, I felt like you could also eat people if you wanted to, and that was kind of neat, So,
cool.
Anyways,
useful.
Let's get out of my dark childhood and let's get into to Reed's list.
All right. Well, I've got first of all an honorable mention on the board games. It's not going to be on my list.
Okay.
It's better than regular Splendor, slightly.
It's got Pikachu on it. It's got to be a little better.
Yeah. There's like one mechanic they added.
Are the cards you're trying to get, are they different Pokemon that you're trying to capture?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
And they evolve, so you get like free plays if you can evolve something.
Oh, sweet.
So that's like the gimmick. But my number 5 is actually...
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Honorable mention.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Battlestar Galactica with the Cthulhu theme, which is, in my opinion, not as good as the Battlestar Galactica theme, but the game is very streamlined.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a version that's obviously not English. I'm just trying to pull up like
that is
picture of the board
right there. That's how it's spelled.
Yep, that's how I say it. No, this is a fantastic game, and Mother Hydra and Father Dagon are amazing. Like those are great minis and really fun. Yes, I agree with you, Reed. I like the Battlestar Galactica theme a lot more. But
Mhm.
man, what they did to really streamline it with Unfathomable or Herschel, which was the box cover Mike was showing, really has helped me get. Well, I'm not even good. I will
Yeah,
get
that
canceled if
one.
I try
There
to
you
say
go.
that one. Yeah,
Oh,
but that
not
is the
that
one. This is Mike eats special brownies and then looks up games on
Yeah.
Board Game Geek.
Yeah.
But no, the streamlining of this game has allowed me to get it to the table so many more times than I was ever able to get Battlestar to the table. And I own both. I'm happy with both.
Yeah, I don't own BSG. I want to get BSG, but for now, I'm happy with Unfathomable.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It's really good. Good
Yeah.
pick.
I need to paint my miniatures. These pictures are putting my copy to shame, Mike.
No doubt.
BGG pictures always do. Just look up any game you own with miniatures and be like, I don't even want to play my copy anymore.
I should probably at least dry brush mine or something.
Oh yeah, some shading on there.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta go for the creatures.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with something very basic. Gremlins from Gremlins.
Yes, I love the Gremlins. Now, do you have a favorite Gremlin?
I don't, because I didn't see the one where they had all the weird ones.
Oh, you didn't see Gremlins too?
No.
Well, hold on. I'll show you my favorite Gremlin.
Clearly the one with the mohawk, right?
The Mohawk Gremlin.
Right? I gotta find that one. That one always cracks me up.
So I don't know about you, but my favorite scene in Gremlins is when they're in the bar and Phoebe Cates has to like serve all the or no, it's not. Is it Phoebe Cates? She's serving she's serving all the Gremlins, beer and whatever, and they're all like in little costumes. No, not Stripe. I like the flashing Gremlin. He was my favorite. Because you're looking at Stripe still. Stripe's still a badass, but the flashing Gremlin, I saw this Funko Pop and I was like, I must have it.
That's cool.
Because it's so, because he's always like, and in the 80s, that was like a really funny joke all the time. Now it'd be like, well, maybe not so good. Is it Spike or is it Stripe? I thought Stripe was the main bad Gremlin. Mike, do you know? You just had it up.
No, I really don't. I'm looking at it, I guess, here.
The flashing Gremlin is just the flashing Gremlin. He was just generic rando Gremlin, sunglasses, trench coat.
Oh, Spike is the fuzzy one, and Stripe is the Gremlin
Leader.
one.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just Stripe.
Unsure.
I'll look this up here.
Okay,
right, Mike.
so my number 5, I'll just throw it out there. I actually had Mogwai as number 2. So Mogwai was my number 2.
Not a Gremlin, so it's different.
I'll just mention him now. He's just like the cutest creature maybe of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Mogwai was like one of the first creatures I thought of course. So there you go. Super obvious, don't care, but like how cute is Mogwai?
Super cute.
Listen, Gizmo is the cutest. All Mogwais are adorable, even when they're being naughty. Just wait until Reed, watch Gremlins 2, and just wait till you see the crazy one. Like, of all of the things in Gremlins 2 that scared my daughter, which Stripe didn't scare her, none of the other stuff, the one with the crazy eyes that's just like, and his eyes are like, spinning around, like, for whatever reason, freaked her out. Like, she couldn't, she's like, I don't know, it just messes with me too much. It is Stripe. Stripe is a gremlin from the first Gremlins and is Gizmo's arch enemy.
Oh,
yes.
Deal.
Now that I know that that's a thing, you're correct. I must.
I think I did see that. I think that's how I knew about all these like random gremlins that came out.
Because like Gremlins 2's got like awesome ones. There's like a spider one. There's a weird lady one, which is like only producers in the 80s doing like tons of drugs will try to sexualize a gremlin, but you know, they do.
Yeah.
You know, there's the bat one. There's the one that's like electricity, the smart one. That sounds like he's voiced by Fraser Crane, but I think it's actually like Tony Curtis. And I know it's Kelsey Grammer, not Fraser, but my brain went to Fraser.
It's Fraser Crane. Let's be honest.
But no, thank you. Thank you for validating me. So, Mike, you went backwards. You did your creature first. Now, what's your board game?
5 board game with creatures is because the creature has its own mechanic, and it's Chimera Station. And this is a really unique worker placement game that TMG published. And essentially, you have these alien workers, and you can assign different arms to different sections of their bodies. And all of the arms give you different abilities. So you can customize your workers to make them, be different than other people's workers. And I always thought that was a really cool mechanic. It's a pretty fun game. You are building new worker placement spots as you go. And yeah, you can build spots that are catered to the guys that you've made. So really cool synergies, a very unique game, and a cool creature that actually is also a mechanic too. So Deep Cut, that's mine that's my number 5.
Oh, that's awesome. I kind of want to play that game now.
This game has great table presence. I remember seeing
it really does.
When it was big, it was everywhere, and it looked so cool.
Trying to find one with a bunch.
I think that might even be me in the background there. I don't know.
Was it you? You said?
No, it's just the guy that was with
me. I'm trying to find one where a bunch of the workers are like.
Did you just stereotype yourself as like a random bald guy in the background?
Yeah.
Okay,
just got glasses. That has to be me.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it is a solid game though. Not a lot of people played this one, and of course,
as a fellow bald man, I ain't mad at you. I'm just.
But you're a bald man without glasses. It's different.
Well, I do wear glasses or contacts, but I don't wear them when I do the glasses when I do the show because I don't want the reflection.
No, I'm
not super vain, but it is a thing that bothers me, I guess. You know, like
it bothers me, but I'm too far away from the screen when I'm couch mic. So
because you can't have a nose like this and be sensitive about your looks. Just saying, you get over that real quick. Look at this. I got the profile of a quarter. Yeah. So anyway.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Well, speaking of quarter, we're 20% through this list. Let's go to number 4.
Not a bad segue. Okay.
Not bad. I tried.
My number 4, my board game with creatures. For a second, I thought maybe this doesn't count because it's kind of a nature theme game, but you were making your own creatures, and that is Oceans. So in Oceans, you're creating, you're assigning traits to these creatures that you're making, right? These aquatic animals that you're creating. And, but they're all like weird, fictitious amalgamations of fish. But this game is so damn good. I really, really, really loved, thank you, David. I really loved Evolution, but it was too mean for most people. And Oceans kind of fixed that.
Does it fix being fun?
Yeah, Oceans is super fun. Super fun.
I know. You've talked about this one a lot.
Oh my God, I know. And it's beautiful. The artwork's beautiful. I've got the deluxe edition, so I got all like the acrylic fishies. It's very pretty. The table, the table presence here is really good. And then once you start getting into the deep deck, which is like every card is unique and there's all these awesome attributes you can continue to add to your fish as you create your ecosystem. was just really fascinated because other than like the Caloria game that right now is on Kickstarter for a few more days, this was one of the only other like games where like you really feel like you're developing an ecosystem, and you're like how things feed off of each other in an ecosystem. So Oceans is my number 4 because of the variety of creatures you will play and create, especially by the end of the game. You're never really going to have the same combination. There's enough variety and everything. So, Mike, you haven't played it. How about you, Reed? Have you played Oceans?
Yeah, I really like it. I have Evolution. If I didn't have Evolution, I would buy this because I think I like it better than Evolution.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love the deep cards. And it's got foils, too, which, I mean...
Oh, yeah.
I'm a sucker for shiny cards, so I can't.
Yeah, you know what, Reed? You know what? Since you like shiny cards, you should put them in your new deck builder game. You should.
Yeah, I should. That's a great idea.
You should consider that.
Down.
Yeah.
Reveal them on somebody's podcast.
And then come on our show and talk about it. I actually think I have, I think I still have my copy of Evolution somewhere. Anyways, doesn't matter. Anyways.
That's a great one.
So
I give you a hard time because Evolution was just really rough for me, but like it looks very different though. So
well, here's the thing: is when I first played Evolution, I've never played anything like it, and I really liked the game despite how mean it was. I think it was just like I knew that there was something there, and then when I played Oceans, I was like, oh, I probably don't ever need to play Evolution again, but I still, but I recognize the evolution of the game as it turned into Oceans and became a better game. You're welcome.
See, I'm always that carnivore in Evolution. I'm always
you're the Reed's the problem.
You have to be. That's why it's the engine building killer game. You try to build an engine, then somebody pulls carnivore and they kill you.
It's not as upsetting as Empire's End. Empire's End is the feel bad engine builder for me that I just can't get into because it's the engine unbuilder. At least in Evolution, they tease you. You get to pretend like you get to make an engine, which then will get eaten by Reed.
That card was cool for a turn.
For a minute.
It's ironic though because I'm vegetarian.
Oh, that is ironic. I love it. I love it. And you know what's funny is I am a meatitarian and usually try to come up with like the defensive, vegetarian creatures, because they're
herbivore.
Yeah. Like I'll just climb up a tree.
Agricola. I don't eat the animals in Agricola. I let them thrive in their little pens.
And you let all your people starve.
Yes. Best way to lose.
I love it. Misery Farm. Okay, so as a shock to no one, I'm going to go to horror movies for my number 4. I believe there's like 3 or 4 sequels to this, even though I will only vouch for like the first 2 of these movies. And I actually, when we were talking about doing this list, I went back and rewatched this movie to see if I wanted this titular character on my creature list. It is a VHS box cover that scarred me as a child and became obsessed with this movie until I rented it. And I was like, oh, it's not as scary as I thought it'd be. And that's Pumpkinhead. Pumpkinhead, the monster from the movie called Pumpkinhead with Lance Henriksen. This is a creature of vengeance. Lance Henriksen's child gets killed. This is like a folk horror movie. So Lance Henriksen, in a fit of rage and grief, goes to like this witch out in the boonies for because there's a witch that lives out there in what might be like Northern California, but maybe it's supposed to be Arkansas. Who knows? Anyways, they revive and set loose the demon whatever thing, Pumpkinhead. I don't know that it's a demon, but anyways, then Pumpkinhead goes around and starts killing all the people related to the or that were responsible for the death of this child. And it's a Stan Winston direct. I believe it was his directorial debut. I don't know if he directed any other movies, but Stan Winston is a famous makeup effects guy. So Pumpkinhead. That's my number 4. Mike, can you find a picture of Pumpkinhead? Put it on. I thought you would.
Yes.
Pumpkinhead is super cute.
He's iconic.
Yeah. It's a super cute creature.
Yeah. I mean, don't you
Very
want to give
cute.
Pumpkinhead a hug?
Yeah.
I do, actually. With a chainsaw.
Yeah. It won't work. I don't know. It might. Anyways, Pumpkinhead, it's a monster. It's a creature. Again, one of those that like the creature in the box art, like the old videotape cover is probably greater than the sum of the actual movies. But conceptually, like a super cool looking creature. That's not Pumpkinhead.
I don't think I know. I was like, what the heck is this? I don't think I've ever watched this.
I've never heard of this.
You've never even heard of it?
No.
Heard
Oh
of
my
it.
gosh. Yeah. This was one that like I had to build up the courage to rent, and then by the time I rented it, I'm like, and as a kid, I'm watching like Evil Dead 2, and getting the crap scared out of me, and then I finally get up the guts to rent Pumpkinhead, and I'm like, oh, that's it. Like that's not anything compared to, but he's such a cool looking monster. I've always just kind of loved the look and the shape of him and everything. So, weirdo. I'm weird. I don't know.
That's great.
Wow.
So Shai Hulud and Pumpkinhead.
You gotta catch them all.
Gotta catch them all.
How many of those movies were there, Tim? 2?
Oh God. Pumpkinhead movies? There's at least 4 or 5 Pumpkinhead movies. It was shitty sequel after shitty sequel after. Yeah, I mean they're just.
Sounds like they need to make more.
I agree.
Wow.
All right, Reed.
So, let's start with the board game. So we talked about this earlier. Shout out to Mike.
Oh, nice.
Stuff of Legend.
Yes.
This was another honorable mention. Which creature? There are so many in this one.
4 Pumpkinhead movies. The most recent one was February of 2007. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's get on to actual.
So what you're saying is I need to get the license and make a game out of it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Right?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Or get the license and include Pumpkinhead as a Rune Beast. So that you can catch it.
Oh.
Yeah, because he's going to be able to avenge whoever Team Rocket, whatever person took your Rune Beast before you could get it. I mean, Team Sprocket. Yeah, Team Sprocket will catch Pumpkinhead, and then they'll be like, "What happened?"
Oh, love it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Which creature in Stuff of Legend, Reed?
I mean, they're all pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I really love the miniatures. I mean, I like the bear, obviously. I think the bear is pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Obviously not the miniature.
I think there's a duck in there too, or goose or something.
Yep.
There is a goose.
I think that might be my favorite.
Those are dice.
For the board games, I didn't pick specific creatures. I just picked the game, but
gotcha.
I really
There's a ton of
same as you, Reed. My board games are kind of like, because like all of the golems, right? There's a ton of golems in Golem Century.
And there's
there you go. Yeah,
so some are worth 20 points and some of them are worth 8 points.
A great selection of critters to pick from.
Yeah.
In Stuff of Legend.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Tons of great critters in this one. There we go. There's all of them. Nice. Finally. Yeah, very cool game too.
Mm-hmm.
We need to play that one again.
We do.
Yeah, Niagara. It was a good time.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. Just played it with a couple of people. One was a kid who really like flew under the radar as the boogeyman person, and basically betrayed us all and destroyed us.
I love playing bluffing games with kids when they're good at it. Oh, I love it. I love it.
It's a kid.
I
I'm not
love being
gonna
a
go after them.
trader with a kid and like pull one over on their dad. It's so funny. It's so funny.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stuff of Legend. We got to play it again for sure, but definitely not at 3 a.m.
No.
No, definitely not when somebody would fall asleep and flip a card over.
So what's your creature then?
My creature is from Digimon, the TV series.
Yeah.
Which is, in my opinion, maybe the second best or my second favorite anime, because I don't know, Digimon was such an excellent story, the original one at least, of like these kids trapped in this digital world, and then they meet up with their creatures, and their creatures kind of, I don't know, help them get through and evolve and all that stuff. Pokemon, I'm not a huge fan of the Pokemon anime. They did better on the games.
Sure.
But anyways, my creature is Gomamon, which is my favorite of the helper creatures. Let's see if I can pull it up.
What's he called?
Yeah, it's the Gomamon.
Gomamon.
Got it.
There he is. He's like a little like walrusy guy. He's pretty awesome.
I feel like I've seen this guy somewhere, or at least like toys of this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Probably this.
Those cards look good too.
It was probably this. That's good.
Yeah, so I mean, I think everybody goes with Agumon. I think Agumon is like the one that's like everyone's favorite. It's the
obvious.
Yeah, but I think Gomamon's cooler.
Right on.
You guys
there you go.
see Digimon at all?
No,
not.
I'm aware of Digimon, but never.
That's about it.
Surprisingly good show. Gets weird eventually, like all shows.
Well, my daughter's just starting to get into some anime, and so like she has watched everything Demon Slayer that's out available on Netflix. We went just recently and saw the movie. I say the movie, but I feel like it's just like 4 or 5 episodes like all together. But she wanted to see it in the theater, so we went and saw it. And so I've been having a good time, even though it's funny as I went and saw it with her, but I've not seen like much past the first season. So she's like, okay, so Dad, they're blah, 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 blah. And then this is blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, that's like, you don't have to tell me. I'll ask questions after it's over. Because I'm like, okay, so is this character this and this and this, afterwards, because it gives us something to talk about, which is really nice. And now she's getting into My Hero Academia.
Oh, yeah. There's a board game for that, because it was we get a lot of board games at Dollarama here, which is like a dollar store.
Okay.
They show up for like $5. So I actually bought that. I gave it away already, but
did you play it?
Must have been really good.
I did not. I looked up the reviews and I'm like, oh, maybe somebody will like it.
Sure.
Yeah. I've definitely done that.
Yeah.
Bought a game because it was super cheap, then watched a review, but maybe not.
Right. Right. No, that's cool though. No, my experience with anime is very limited, only because I have to almost be. I don't want to say like somebody make me watch it, but I almost have to have somebody like sit me down and go, hey, we're gonna watch this, because it's not like my go-to, and I know I'm gonna really make people very upset. But like, the Netflix Cowboy Bebop came out. Now I never watched the anime version. I watched the Netflix live action with Stephen Yeun, I believe. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I thought it was great. It actually kind of made me want to go and watch the anime, but I'm too lazy. I haven't done that yet. Because I know that people love that anime. Like that's such a, my sister loves it. I know people that love it. And so, obviously I've watched Akira, I've enjoyed Akira, but like when I went to Akira, I was like, because I'm a cinephile, it's like these are things you must see, so I've seen some of the staples of anime, but have not just like fallen into like watching a bunch. I did watch. There was an old series in the '90s called Bastard.
Oh.
I watched that because I thought the name was fun, but I don't really.
It's a great
reason. What? Yeah, I know. Well, this is like 19-year-old Tim. Like, oh, name something bastard. Like, oh, I should watch this. But yeah.
Did you see the anime? Did you see that anime X-Men thing that came out with Armor, where it was like basically X-Men in Japan, and it was all anime?
What? No, but I'd watch that.
Yeah, it was good. It introduced a new character, who's also in Marvel Snap. So like, I'm assuming probably in the comics too. But
who play? Okay, so who do they introduce in Snap? That's in Snap.
Her name's Armor.
Oh no, I know Armor. Yeah, okay. So Armor's from the anime.
I think originally from the anime. Yeah.
Okay. Because I hadn't heard of Armor prior to Marvel Snap, but I was like, this is a cool character, and I play the hell out of Marvel Snap, so I play all day, every day.
Yeah, she locks down those arenas.
Yeah. Are you a Snap player, Reed?
What's that?
Are you a Snap player?
I kind of go in and out with it.
Okay.
It's a good game, but eventually I'm like, I don't know. Eventually I'm like, I've had enough, and then I come back to it in like a few months.
Oh yeah, I don't go more than like. Usually I'm like, I've had enough, and then like 3 hours later I'm playing again. I'm gonna look up my Snap level. I'll tell you my collection level.
Oh my god, I've been struggling to stick with mobile games for a long time. I used to play them a lot, but now all I do is maybe check BGA.
That's maybe. I think every game I've got on BGA, I'm waiting for Mike to take his turn. So yeah, that's
it. Oh wow. Let's find out if.
Wow. My collection level in Marvel Snap is 11,577.
What? Oh.
Wow.
I play a little. I love it though. What's funny is I've only ever hit infinite once. I usually get to the 90s and I can't break through. So then towards the end of the season, I just snap everything because I don't care if I lose cubes because it's going to reset you. And then it resets you down to an easier level, right? So it drops you like 30 levels when the season restarts. So it's like, who cares if I start at 40? I'm going to beat all of these chumps with, their 1,200 collection level sucker. And then I'll get back up to where there's people that are way better than me, with similar collection levels. And then I'll stall out again. It's fine.
Yeah. That cycle. Yes. That cycle.
I don't mind though. So Mike.
Ooh.
Mike, what's your fourth game? What's your fourth game?
All right. My number 4 game with creatures. It's funny because I only started recently playing this one. And it's Abyss. Abyss has some of the coolest sea creatures, and you're basically trying to recruit these sea creatures, and they are your points. And basically what the cool box art in this game is really just a close-up of some of the sea creatures that you're trying to recruit. Because you basically have like these leader cards that are out, and you're just trying to build up high enough numbers and in different sets to recruit these leaders, and they are your main source of points. And they are awesome. I'm trying to get more of. There we go. Just the different creatures, the art on these.
It looks so good.
Like it's not just the box art. Like imagine the box art, but there being a ton, like dozens of different ones. Here we go. There's just so many. They're so cool. I like all the different abilities they have. And like the different factions, of course, kind of have their own sort of thematic abilities. Some of them are military that can mess with other people's abilities. It's crazy. I only found this game last year. I mean, I've known about it, of course. It's a very well-known game, and Bruna Cathala designed it, but
Oh my god, I
it
love
lives
this
up to the
game.
hype. It's so good, and the creatures in it are just so amazing. I'm such a fan of this game and the way the creatures were drawn in this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that looks great. I've always wanted to play this.
Ah,
As soon as I see it in the store, I'm gonna pick it up.
it's
it's
really good, Reed. It's really
it
good.
is really good. Yeah, I mean, because it's a combination of like these guys are points, and it's basically saying, all right, you got to have at least this suit to recruit it with a power of 6. But these other 2 dots say, well, you have to have 3 total factions played to even recruit these cards. And then when you do, you have to, it's the word, you have to affiliate a card, but you have to affiliate the lowest card that you play, and that's bonus points on top of what that card's worth. So it's an interesting push and pull. You want to use higher cards so you can affiliate higher cards, but then you're like, well, am I blowing higher cards that I need to get higher numbered allies here? These allied cards. It's just so fascinating. It's really, really good. Really good push your luck. When you draw cards, other people are able to buy them before you do. But they can only buy 1 card. So you end up revealing up to like 6 cards, and if you don't buy one by the time the 6th card is revealed, you have to buy the last card that comes out. It just has so many cool mechanisms to it. It's amazing that this is 10 years old.
Yeah, is that
10 years old.
2014?
Yeah. Man, it's really good.
I remember when Bob bought this game, he literally bought it at our local game store, Fantasy Games, was like coming over to my house to play games, and we watched Notre Dame play Florida State, and Bob and I were learning how to play Abyss. And I think we also played Caverna for the first time that night as well. So we played 2 learning games of Abyss and Caverna. Um, but Abyss was undeniable, man. It was really cool, really neat mechanics, especially at that time, right? Hadn't seen a lot of games that had done that do what Abyss does, and I don't know that I
Yeah.
think of a ton that still do. But anyways,
I would agree with that. Yeah, and I gotta say, when Bob taught me this game at a Meeple event last year, it's the most beat up box I've seen in any game in his collection. He has
oh
played
sure,
this game, unlike most of his games, which are don't even have white corners to them.
yeah.
I'm like, what? A game with a white corner? Um, so yeah, great game though. Awesome creatures. Okay, so my number 4 is actually a generic creature, and it's a video game creature, and it came from one of my favorite video game franchises, Diablo.
Mm.
And there are a lot of great creatures I could pick from any of the Diablo games. I do love them all. However, they created something that is now used in other games, and it's the treasure goblin. Anytime I'm playing a hack and slash game like Diablo, or a looter shooter like Borderlands, or just a game that has me running around killing things to level up to get better loot, and I'm killing stuff to get XP to increase my level, and then all of a sudden a treasure goblin shows up, drop what you're doing.
Mhm.
Go chase that treasure goblin. You don't know
Nice.
what he has. He could have a legendary that completely like fills out your build. You just never know. And I hate how they're tanks. Like, he has no weapons. He's not shooting me back. And yet they are just like bullet sponges. It takes forever to kill these things. And the suspense just keeps like building. Like, am I even going to kill him? Are we going to. And then you finally loot him, and all he's got is a bunch of gold. But I still love treasure goblins. I love the idea of them. I love the suspense every time they show up in any game I'm playing. I just really like them as a mechanic in these type of games. It's just I get excited every time I see a treasure goblin. So it is a generic creature, but they are such a fun creature.
Yeah, I mean, any game where there's a creature that like if you see, like, oh, I got to kill that thing because it's going to give me a bunch of a specific loot. I can
Yes.
very specifically. I remember what it looked. Is it like the little cactus in Final Fantasy VII? When there's creatures like that, you've got to like, oh, like that's the only creature I can steal the one thing I need, but they run away so fast. It's a running theme in games, and yes, Mike, I also am susceptible to when I see that creature. It's like, well, I got to get it. I need the thing.
Yep.
I need the money. I need the drop. Whatever it's going to give me.
Across the Obelisk has them too.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's been a little while since I've played that one. I've been playing a little bit more Spire lately, and I haven't played Across the Obelisk in a while. Yeah, I love those old hack and slash games. The new Diablo didn't have the replayability that like 2 and 3 did for me. Like I was really into it for like a couple months, but man, like once I beat it, I didn't enjoy the in-game content that much, and the loot grind was just a bit too much. But I put so much time into Diablo 2 and 3. Like it was one of those I went for the midnight release for Diablo 3. Like I showed up at midnight at GameStop to get my game and then rushed home to install it just to not be able to play it because the servers couldn't handle all of it. I was there for that. That was the PC release. And then I bought it again for PS3 on that release. I freaking love the Diablo games, man. Just something about the whole hack and slash, grab more loot, and customizing your build, and hoping that treasure goblin has that piece that can complete your build. I love stuff like that.
Nice.
That's one of my favorite things in video games. So, yeah, that's my number 4s. Hey, Jeff.
Hey.
Jeff's got some creatures, I'm sure.
Oh my God, you want to talk about
later.
Vrahode? You got some creature games, man. I can't wait to play that thing.
We'll learn about those creatures.
Oh my God, they look amazing.
All right, our number 3 creatures.
All right, so my number 3 is a game that kind of flew under my radar until I played it at my sister's house, and then I kind of became obsessed with it. Had to buy it because it's got amazing creatures, beautiful art, and it's kind of a bidding press your luck game at the same time, and that's Equinox.
More golems. You're talking about the golem version, aren't you?
There's a golem version of Equinox?
Yes!
Really?
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Well, no, I wasn't. Because Equinox is chock full of its own creatures anyways. But the golem, or the golems, you got me going. The creatures in Equinox are so cool. They're so unique. That's the cool box cover. I don't have that one. I've got the green one.
Oh yeah, sorry. It's there's not a golem version. There's just a version that has a golem looking
art. A creature that looks like a golem. Okay. I calmed down.
I think that's the golem edition. I think we should go with that.
Yeah, I think I got the golem edition.
They have some amazing art for the creatures in this game.
What's funny though is I was trying to hold out for that one that Mike is showing, but eventually I was just like, I just need this damn game. Like, I don't want to wait anymore. I just want the game. But it's got these really cool, like tarot sized cards and like beautiful creatures in here. And you're basically, you're trying to, you're playing these cards and you're trying to manipulate who is going to last the longest as you go down these rows. And it's really neat, really fun. Lots of strategy, very interesting. And, I kind of feel like a weirdly overlooked game, Plan B games, but this is really good. I love this game. It's beautiful and it's easy to teach. It's not like It's not super hard. It's what Mike talked about when we talked about that Garden Geckos game, where it's like low rules overhead, but lots of really interesting and difficult decisions as you go through. And I love the timing. I kind of love the bluffing with it and everything. So,
what's the Colossal Arena version? I got to see that.
I seriously, Wayne, come on, man. What are they doing down in Florida that you get the good stuff
up here? So I believe this is just what it was based on. So it was a re-theme of a Knizia game.
Okay.
And so it's a re-theme of this. It really plays like nothing I've ever really played, because it's like you're putting a bid down that's also a prediction of how long you think that creature is going to last. And even though it doesn't have a ton of rules, it's sort of weird to grasp that the first time you play it.
Yeah,
but it's so fulfilling when your bids are correct and your guy's one of the last ones standing. It's a really good game. It's really unique.
It's really fun trying to manipulate sort of the market, right? Or the situation as they come down, the way you play those cards and everything.
Yeah, that's a good pick. It's got a ton of cool art for these different things.
Gorgeous.
And they all have like different abilities and stuff if your bid wins.
So
components are crazy. Like those bid tokens are like these multicolored rocks. Like I have a stone bid token. Like they're almost excessive. It's a beautiful game.
Yeah, they're cool. They're super cool. I love this game. It's really good. Now my creatures, for anybody familiar with the 80s were a weird time, man. Let me just say the standards for like children's entertainment in the 80s would not fly today. Because Dark Crystal scared the shit out of me, but I was obsessed with that movie. But I gotta go with not like the cute the Gelflings. Like, no, I'm not even gonna go with Fizzgig, which I don't was originally the creature that like the little furball creature didn't have a name, but he was named Fizzgig. But then when they did the Netflix show, they're all Fizzgigs and then have different names. I don't know. That kind of bothered me. But I'm going with the Skeksis because the Skeksis were awesome. The terrifying, like dried up looking vulture kind of monsters. They're kind of whiny. Chancellor, there's like all kinds of really Chamberlain. That's what it was. Chamberlain. They were so cool. Anyways, I love the Skeksis. This movie is so good. Like to this day, and as like sort of a cinephile, and somebody that just appreciates like ambitious storytelling, like Dark Crystal came out of nowhere. Like this wasn't like now where you would have like a prequel comic come out like 6 months before the movie comes out so people could read it and understand like some of the backstory and the lore. Like, no, you're like, oh, Jim Henson did this. Let's take our kids. What? As you're watching like these Gelflings get like life sucked out of them as they get turned into zombies because they stare into the Dark Crystal, and you're watching Fizzgig pop out of nowhere. And then you've got Agra like pulling her eye out. And you're like, what is happening? This movie is terrifying. It's beautiful. It's amazing. I love it. And, I just love the wildly huge swings that they took with making something like this. And all of the creatures look freaking fantastic. And they just don't do stuff like this anymore. I sound like an old man. Get off my lawn. But they just don't do this kind of thing. So anyways, badass creatures, really cool characters. Mike, I know you've seen the least movies out of all of us. Have you ever seen Dark Crystal? Are you aware of it?
Yeah, I watched it a long time ago.
Yeah. But I bet it scared you if you saw it when you were a kid. How about you, Reed?
No, but now I want to watch it.
You've never seen the Dark Crystal? Oh my God, Reed! Please watch the Dark Crystal. It's so good.
I saw the other one that came out around that time, Labyrinth.
Labyrinth. Yeah, I could have gone with a couple of creatures from Labyrinth for sure. Also, Jim Henson, right?
Yeah, and David Bowie.
Yeah, well, David Bowie and his pants.
Oh,
And a super young Jennifer Connelly as well.
yeah.
Yeah, I have Dance Magic Dance like on my iTunes playlist, right? Like, because that's such a awesome Bowie song, just like every other Bowie song, but that's just a really good one. But yeah. You should check out the Dark Crystal. Really cool, really weird, but just awesome like fantasy storytelling.
That's awesome.
Good
So
one.
I'm gonna see if you guys can guess my number 3.
all right.
Ancient Greek monsters.
With Cyberpunk?
Ankh.
No cyberpunk.
Oh, okay. So you're
An
going with
Ankh god?
Cyclades?
You got it, Cyclades. That's my number 3.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I just backed the Legendary Edition.
Oh, I really wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff's got my back here, and I know Justin.
Yeah.
Got the Dark Crystal stuff. But yeah, man, Cyclades, really awesome game. I have so the trilogy is Cyclades, Kemet, and Init, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I do have all 3, but I got the old OG versions of all 3.
Which is your favorite?
Kemet.
Yeah.
Kemet's my favorite.
I
But
haven't played Cyclades yet.
but Cyclades is super cool and does. I think I like Kemet best because I played Kemet first, and then went back and played Cyclades, and then went and played Innis. And I think I haven't played Kemet is also the one I played the most, but Cyclades, man, the Greek. I love all the Greek mythology tied in there. Very cool territory control, like in some unique ways that they do it. I'll stop stepping on your pick. You please talk about it.
No, of course. I mean, for me, I think what stands out at Cyclades is not so much that it's area control. I love the bidding.
Yes, the bidding is what
and
makes
I love
it
getting
cool.
discounts. I always go for the discounts.
So Mike, the frugal gamer over here, will also, like, if you could see his face right now, Couch Mike usually does not get this excited, but you said discounts in Greek mythology, and he's in.
Bidding. It was the bidding.
Oh, it was bidding. I thought it was.
I love
Greek
bidding
mythology.
in games.
It's cool because you have, I think, one less than the number of players. You have a set of leaders out. Or gods, I guess. Sorry, gods, and you're bidding on getting to use that god's power for the turn.
Yes.
And you can basically, somebody can outbid you, which forces you to immediately place your bid on someone else. And it kind of just keeps looping where, okay, you outbid me here. I'm going to knock this person off. They're going to knock you off. You're going to knock me off again until the bid just ramps up to a point where everyone's too poor to actually outbid anyone, and someone just grabs like the consolation prize.
Right. So is Cyclades your favorite out of the trilogy?
So I haven't played the other two. I haven't played Innis or Kemet. I would love to. But Cyclades has come to one of our game nights, like, I want to say like 3 or 4 times now. Man, loved it every time.
Maybe I just need to throw Kemet in my game bag for QSCon and just be like, hey, Reed, sit down and play a game with me.
Please do.
Kemet is really good. I need to play with Tassetti because it adds even more different tech upgrades.
Yeah, I'm jelly because, I have one of the expansions, but Mike's got the one I don't have, I think.
For Tassetti expansion, but I have first edition. But
I have first edition Kemet as well.
Yeah, they play the same. And I played Inish. The end game of that one just didn't work for me. How you basically check if somebody fulfills it, and then it kind of becomes beat on the leader for a round. I felt like it made in-game drag a little bit. I see why a lot of people like it. It just didn't work for me. But I wanted to like that one so much because I love the Celtic theme and the art on that one. Oh my gosh.
I
Gorgeous game.
I will
Gorgeous
just
game.
disagree. I think Innis is really good, but
yeah, it just didn't work.
I will
That's
say
fair.
when it comes to area control trilogies, I think we have different opinions because I'm not too crazy about Ankh.
Ankh is the oh my gosh.
I love Rising Sun and Blood Rage, but I don't know. I didn't enjoy Ankh that much. I was okay on Ankh. Like
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? Different strokes for different folks, right? Different games
Yeah.
kind of scratch different itches in different ways. I will not. I have way too much respect for you to go. Well, you're clearly just wrong.
But after the show, when you leave, Reed, no, I'm
I'm going to
yeah,
shit talk you like
absolutely.
mercilessly. I'll be like, oh, Reed, can you believe that? He didn't even like Ankh?
Doesn't even like Ankh.
Does that man even play games? His
No.
whole list is invalidated.
And Rising Sun is the one I want to like the most, and yet I just don't end up having as much fun as I think I should every time I play it.
I honestly, I think Rising Sun might be. It's the one I want to like the most because I think the theme is fascinating. I love the idea of the mechanics. It's just a lot harder to get to the table than either Ankh or
really
Blood
long.
Rage, and it's longer. But I really think there's. I've had a good time playing Rising Sun. I think there's a really good game in there, and I don't think it's as punishing or as mean as Blood Rage. And Ankh is just so bonkers that I think that is why Ankh is my favorite. But
I like a lot of the ideas in Ankh for sure. I think every time I've played it, there's been runaway leader.
Sure.
Mostly it's been me being runaway leader, and then I see other people not having fun, and I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'm not having fun either.
Oh, you sensitive soul, you Reed,
Man,
you sweet
that's
summer
crazy.
child.
I swear, like most of the times I've played it, the people that merge come back and win.
When I played it with merge, like it definitely didn't happen. Like they just fell further behind.
Wow.
Oh, Mike and I have the best. Mike and I had the best merge ever in any Ankh game I've ever played.
Yeah, people around the table actually heard the Transformers sound when I went and sat next to them. And we're like, hey, this is how we're going to win.
Well, like there was a problem because here's the thing is like those kind of games, I will rarely go, I'm really good at board games. I won't because I lose a lot, but because I just like to play and have fun. But there's certain kinds of games that I'm kind of good at. And like, so when the second that Mike and I merged, Mike's like, here's how we need to win. And I'm like, yep. And then we should do this, and we should time this and this. And we had the same thoughts. We were like immediately simpatico with like our ideas. I think we like tweaked one or two things, maybe just based on the timing of like the way stuff shook out. And we made the most epic comeback. And it was incredible. And if Mike and I weren't like amazing friends before then, we immediately, like after that, it was like, well, there's no turning back now. We are forever bonded through this. It was
like our body parts almost merged together. We were a human caterpillar at that moment.
Yeah, not a centipede, a caterpillar. We were not sharing a digestive tract.
And my number 3 creature is centipede.
Reed's number 3 creature is the human centipede.
Oh my God.
That's so good.
Oh yeah, that's how we do it.
That's so good. Okay, so Mike, we still need your number 3.
Oh my gosh, I know. I'm just having too much.
Oh no, I haven't actually said my number.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I was like,
I'm so sorry, Reed.
I'm so sorry. I was like, I don't think Reed's done his.
Now, have either of you played Pal World?
Who?
Pal World?
Oh no, but I want to. But is it dead?
No, it's doing well. I think.
Oh, I thought they killed it.
No.
I thought this was the one that got killed for infringement.
Nope, they're trying to. Nothing's official.
Okay.
They've definitely it's definitely its own game. Anyways, I don't know if this qualifies, so I have a backup just in case. But there are these characters in here called Syndicate Thugs.
Okay.
They're the Pal World poachers. And I figure if you can catch something in a Pokeball, it's a creature, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
What if that's a human that you can catch in a Pokeball?
Ooh. So the humans that are caught in the Pokeballs, you know what? I'm gonna allow it because
if they're in cages.
if we're gonna let Mike put an inflatable autopilot in as his robot, as his number 10 robot in the robots list, then we gotta, because it's all a matter of perspective, right, Reed? So from the perspective of the Power World creatures, that is a creature.
I mean, it's a creature. I mean, I've caught 9 of them. So, I've got like, basically you can build a little jail, and not like this, like a I don't know, like a force field jail.
Okay.
And I have my 9. It's like my human jail. I've got my 9 Syndicate Thugs, aka poachers, in there for doing bad things, and there's a survivor who greets you at the very beginning of the game, who I also captured.
I'm learning so much about Reed. I'm learning so much about it. I bet in Baldur's Gate 3 you just kill everybody. I haven't played Baldur's Gate 3, but I really want to. But I feel like I need to buy that game, take a week off of work, and not talk to anybody. But no, Power World looks so cool, but then I thought it was getting shut down.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
I mean, I like to call it my community, but
yeah. Look, all things go through Reed, but yeah, it's a community. And they're all his twin flames, and like, let's go with all the other what's up, Chris?
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
We've talked about a little bit about this game. A little bit. So are you still playing it, Reed?
Yeah. I mean, it's good with multiplayer. I basically went in with a bunch of friends into a dungeon, and as they were catching the Pokemon, I was catching the people. Good time.
I love it.
So is there any like leveling of your own character, or is all the progression tied to like evolving? Okay.
So yeah, so you got your own level up. There's tech trees, which is kind of cool. It's a survival game at its core, though. So I'm not like crazy about the survival aspect, but do
you have to monitor like your thirst and your hunger?
That kind of survival. Hunger. You don't have any thirst because you don't have to drink in Power World, I guess. I don't know.
Do you get to build any bases?
Yeah, so you do build a base, but the good thing about multiplayer is you can kind of all do it together. So if like one person builds one thing, then you don't have to worry about it.
Right.
So it kind of cuts down on the unfun parts. But what I like about Power World is that you have to do your dirty work. So like in Pokemon, you throw your Pokemon out to like attack other Pokemon so you can catch it. Here you gotta just like straight up punch it or like shoot it and throw a ball. Really weird.
Learning so much about Reed.
Really weird experience.
So much.
Maybe
Reed likes to punch people.
But I'm weird. I like the base building. I like getting creative and making like these huge epic structures. So I really like that in games.
I actually set up, because you can set up a cabin. They have like, you can make as big a house as you want, I guess. But we had a cabin in my like multiplayer game, and you can set up campfires. So I set the entire cabin on fire with campfires, and you had to get inside the cabin to like get the stuff. So like anyone that went in was coming out on fire.
So Mike, sidebar real quick, Mike. If we're at QSCon, Reed comes up, punches you in the face, and hits you with a ball, you're in his cult. I'm just saying.
Right. Yeah.
You are officially in the cult. You have no choice at that point. He has claimed you as his own.
That's true. And I'm not putting him in charge of illumination in our base. So
Right.
Lighting will be up to someone else, not Reed's job.
That's why you get community members so you can delegate.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. David, just that sentence alone hurt my brain. Trigonometric identity homework. I hope my kids aren't as smart as yours because I will not be able to help them with that homework.
Here's the internet.
Yeah, right.
Remember trig.
My response will be like, didn't you pay attention in class? Like, how do you not know this?
Yeah, right. Yeah. What are you asking me for? You don't need my help.
Listen, I'm trying to watch Pumpkinhead 3 over here. I don't have time to answer your trigonometry questions.
Got a lot of extra buttery popcorn to eat.
Yeah, look here. Like Shia LaBeouf is calling. I don't have time for this.
Okay, so my number 3 here is kind of like all the creatures in this game, because they're all amazing, and it is Dwellings of Eldervale. I mean, first,
great game.
It's got my favorite box cover. It just pulls me into like this world. It has depth and color and lots of different creatures and dragons and different realms. It just pulls me in. It's one of those boxes I have to put on top of the shelf because it's huge, but also because I just like to look at this box cover a lot. When I'm sitting over there, it's one of the visible ones that I have. But all of these miniatures and the monsters that you can fight, I don't know how many pictures I have to go through to get to just like pictures of the miniatures in this game. But there are so many I think there's, with the legendary edition that I've got, it's got, I want to say, at least 16 different monsters that you can fight. And that's 16 different sculpts, and they're double-sided cards, so you can have different abilities for the different sculpts. Those are the sound bases. There's some of them, finally. It's got some of the coolest dragons of any game I've ever seen. Yay, combat dice. Come on! I wish I could find more pics of the miniatures. I'm failing at this. But they're just all so amazing and detailed.
Yeah. This game is stunning.
There we go.
Stunning.
And the amazing part is this is a worker placement game that actually has combat. And so you're activating a space, but if it's occupied by somebody else, after you use the benefit, you're going to fight about it.
Yeah.
And whoever loses goes to the underworld and comes back with like a reroll in combat. But these monsters are also lurking. You can see a few of them up there. There's so many cool ones. There's a minotaur, there's mercenaries, and there's multiple sculpts of dragons. There's like this tornado monster. There we go. The croc monster, which is on the alternate gray box. Man, there are so many cool monsters in this game. It was one of the first games I thought of.
Yeah, and there's about 37 different tracks you can move up to score points. There's like a ton of stuff going on in this game.
I know, and it's such a Euro game. I love it.
It's building
good, up an engine, and when you don't place a worker, you can recall your workers back to the cards that you're creating in this little tableau, and you activate those when you reset. Oh man. Good stuff. Great game. As I'm finally getting to the monsters. If you guys want to recap your picks, I'll keep clicking these monsters.
Yeah, sure. I just want to say I've got this on order. So as soon as I get my Heat expansion, which seems to come out like 2 months later in Canada. I don't know how we got that raw deal, but whatever that comes through.
It's because you guys pay in loonies and toonies and whatever, so they don't want to.
I don't know, actually, when it releases here. Everything here still shows pre-order, so...
Oh, okay, maybe it's the
every
same
site here, at least. I've checked Game Nerds and Miniature Market, and they're still pre-order only, so...
Yeah, so I
Some people
said
haven't.
my number 5 was Unfathomable. Number 4 was Stuff of Legend, and number 3 was Cyclades.
My number 5 was Century Golem Edition. My number 4 was Oceans. My number 3 was Equinox.
5, Chimera Station. 4, Abyss. 3, Dwellings of Eldervale.
Yeah. All great picks. And then what's your creature, Mike?
My number 3 creature. Well, I too was also influenced by some Jim Henson work when I was a kid, except there was one in particular that I liked a bit more than the others, probably because it was one of those that was on a VHS tape that was copied and it had like 4 different movies on the same VHS tape. You know that one where I referenced Christine a couple weeks ago, Tim?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, those same VHS tapes had Fraggle Rock, and that's why Marjorie the Trash Heap was the coolest Fraggle Rock creature.
Yeah.
I love this thing. I don't know what it was. It was just something about like the way it moved and like I don't know. It
The
was just the
songs,
coolest creature in
Mike.
Fraggle Rocks.
No, Mike. Every time they go to the trash heap and you get the songs, it's the best part. It's the best part of the
Yes.
show. Forget the dozers. Forget the
Yes.
Fraggles. You're right. Trash heap is the best. The trash heap has spoken. I loved trash heap. We actually nicknamed my friend's car that was so dirty and broken down the trash heap all the time in honor of trash heap from
I
Fraggle
thought you were
Rock.
about to tell us that you nicknamed your friend Trash Heap.
No, that friend we actually nicknamed Snow Beast. And his car was a trash heap. But yeah, I mean, we're not like monsters. We're assholes, but we're not monsters.
I don't know. Yeah, the songs in Fraggle Rock and Trash Heap, man, I friggin' loved them. I remember that thing just so vividly as a kid. I watched it probably hundreds of times. It was that movie that my parents were probably sick of watching because I watched it so much. It was one of those.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic.
That's great. Great pick.
Evan, if you're asking, I picked the Skeksis. The Mystics were cool, but the Skeksis, man, dude, the Skeksis. So terrifying, very unique.
Mike, I think we have a song request.
Yep.
Oh, what? Oh. Oh, boy. Hold on. I'll have to look up the lyrics and then I'll get you.
Yeah. You got to put on those cat lady glasses too.
Down with Fraggle Rock. Down with Fraggle Rock. There you go.
I can do the what was it? Was it Mo? Who was the grumpy one? Down in Fraggle Rock at the end, right?
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Anyways, is it time for number 2?
Yeah. Nothing but this trash heap. Let's go to number
I love
2.
it. I love this pick, Mike. That's the best. That's my favorite pick here so far.
It's a great one.
All right. My number 2. I won't go too crazy with this. I love this game. Play it all the time. Still to this day. And it's an older game designed by Richard Garfield. King of Tokyo. It's just big creatures battling each other, right? King of the Hill. Super straightforward game. The Dark Edition is beautiful. It is the must-own edition. But this game is super fun. Actually, Mike, you and I and like our group, we need to play this game because the amount of like trash talking that we do and like hollow threats and real threats that we make while playing these kind of games anyways. I mean, it just makes sense, right? We are a rowdy game group at times, and this can be a rowdy game. I love this kind of game. Yeah, it's dice chucking, yeah, it's luck and whatever, but it's half hour, 45 minutes. Who cares? You're just having a good time and you're playing a goofy, fun game. I love King of Tokyo, and I love what it's done for me and my family in the hobby, because I played this game probably the most with my kids and they love it, right? Because I just will go in there and make bad decisions and let them wail on me and still try to win. but they have a great time because they'll get to roll those big chunky dice with the cool, unique symbols, and their critters all look really neat, And anyways, 100% King of Tokyo, one of my all-time favorite creature games. We're gonna go with creatures. I just this. I know I said this earlier about Pumpkinhead, but I just rewatched this movie last weekend, and it's so good. It's underrated. It's gory. It's got a nice little plot twist in there. But my number 2 is The Blob.
Oh.
So there was like that OG 50s movie, The Blob, which was really cool. It's just like oozing along and coming, and as it like eats things, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, in the 80s version, they like crank it up like another level, and like The Blob is actually kind of acidic, and it so like not only does it like absorb and eat people, but like if they pull away, like their face, there's so many scenes where like they pull their face away from it, like half of their face peels off. It's really gross and horrifying. But The Blob is actually kind of an underrated remake. That 80s version is like legit good. Really cool effects. Yeah, there's some not amazing green screen stuff by today's standards, but I mean, at the time it was pretty good. But the practical effects in that movie are really fun. The story's pretty interesting. It's got a very young Kevin Dillon, and it puts a nice little twist on the 50s version, because in the 50s one, the Blob comes from space, and yeah, that's all I'll say. But they do have the same weakness. So if you know the 50s version, or if you know what the weakness is for the Blob, then you'll know what the weakness is in the remake. But yeah, the Blob is super cool. Very like these are the kind of monsters as a kid that scare me the most, because they don't really seem to have like a sentience. They just are just like everything, right? And there's like, it's really hard to escape from, and it's only getting bigger, and you're like, you can't shoot it, you can't stab it, like there's fire doesn't hurt it. Similar to the lake creature in Creepshow 2, in the Stephen King story The Raft. Yeah, that's kind of like a blobby kind of thing there. My favorite part of Creepshow 2 actually was that, and a really good Stephen King short story. I don't think it was that from, it wasn't from Skeleton Crew. It might have been from Nightmares and Dreamscapes. I don't remember. Anyways, I've read a lot of Stephen King too. Apologies. Oh, kitty.
Hey.
Yeah, I know. So the 50s Blob, yeah, the Red Menace communism, similar to Invasion of the Body Snatchers. The Body Snatchers is even a better implementation of that Red Scare, parable. And the 70s Invasion of the Body Snatchers is one of my all-time favorite horror movies. Were these skull-crushing apes in Congo considered creatures? No, because they're real creatures. Those silverback apes and Amy, the ape that does sign language that kills Tim Curry. No, you can't. Those aren't creatures. Those are animals. Anyways.
Yeah, we had rules.
Yeah, Evan, there's rules here. We can't just pick random willy-nilly things. So anyways, the Blob is my number 2 creature, and King of Tokyo is my number 2 game. Mr. Reed, what do you have?
That's a good pick. Mine kind of ties into yours, at least my board game.
Ooh.
So what game has a blob in it?
Gelatinous dice. Tales to Amaze?
What? Match. Tales to Amaze, the co-op.
I've never even heard of this. Oh, it's Unmatched. What? Okay. Unmatched. There's a blob in it?
There's a blob in it.
Yes. So good.
So yeah, Unmatched, Tales to Amaze. Pretty awesome. I've been basically since kind of the Marvel Buffy announcements, I've been picking up Unmatched. And I've got a ton of Unmatched stuff. And the co-op is actually a lot of fun, and you can bring in characters from the competitive sets, and yeah, it's great. I think I like there's 2 villains that it comes with. So it comes with the Mothman. Mothman, I think, is the best villain.
Nice.
And then the aliens on the other side. I don't know if we played it with the wrong set, but it was a little punishing.
Oh,
A little too punishing. I'm okay with a little punishing, but yeah, great.
Is the Blob a villain or a playable character?
So they have villains and minions. So the villains, neither of which are playable, but the villain is like the big bad that you have to beat to win.
Gotcha.
And the minions just go around attacking and causing chaos. And I think with the alien side, you have to end up discarding a lot of cards. So we had the alien with a minion that made you also discard cards.
Okay.
So you basically just took choices out of the game. But every time I played the Mothman, it's been a blast.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love the artwork on those cards.
Yeah, the artwork is great.
That's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
I've never played Unmatched. I would love to.
No, me either.
Like if you look at I don't know if you can see the Mothman there, but the Mothman miniature is incredible. There he is. Last one there on the very last, yeah.
I'm not.
Oh, Mike, you're so close.
I'm not sure. I don't know where you meant.
Oh, no worries. It's all. Yeah, maybe just keep scrolling. Oh, there. Yeah, there. You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
What?
Yeah. And that comes painted too, so Mothmanity.
Nice.
That's an expansion, I think.
Let's get working on it. Let's get hired at Restoration.
Yeah. So I'll have to bring that down to Origins or QsCon. Show you guys what it's about.
Right?
Well, my number 2, I kind of lied. I said I was going to go spaceless creatures.
Uh-oh.
We're throwing porgs in there. Porgs
are the best. If I picked one Star Wars creature, it would be a porg as well, Reed.
Absolutely. They're just adorable.
I have no less than at least 3 stuffed porgs in my house and maybe a porg blanket that are for my children.
That are for your children, I'm sure.
Wow. I love porgs.
Back in my old office, I had like a giant porg on my desk and a bunch of like little porg. Like it was like a family of porgs on my desk, and it was weird but good. People are probably like, "Why does this guy have all these birds on his desk?"
No. No. And you're like, "Why don't you know what a porg is? Get out of here."
Yeah, and I have like 2 porg shirts. I don't know. They're the best creature in Star Wars. I mean, I almost put Gungans on the list, but then the whole bipedal thing threw me off.
You almost put Gungans on the list. Oh, remember what I said earlier? It's like, Reed, you can put whatever you want on your list. I won't judge you. It's kind of like you with Space Caves. Like, well, maybe I'll judge you. But porgs aren't indigenous to space. They're just only kind of happen to be in space because they're hanging out with Chewie. Exactly. One of my favorite scenes in The Last Jedi is when Chewie's about to eat that grilled porg.
Yes.
And the other porgs give him the look. And it's so good.
That's what made me love them. I'm like, ooh, this has like a little bit of like nuance to it.
Yeah. And I don't care what anybody says. I like that movie.
Yeah.
It's got problems, but I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, if you like watch it as a one-off, it's enjoyable. Just pretend that there's no story at the beginning or story at the end.
Yeah. I guess for me, it's like I can skip the casino planet and everything else I'm pretty happy with.
I was all right with the casino planet. I thought that the like the freeing of the llamas was good.
Oh, I like that part. I did like that part. I did enjoy that quite a bit. I guess I just wish there was a little more payoff.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna tease me with Benicio del Toro, you've got to give me more. Like he is one of my favorite actors.
Oh, I hated him in that. I wanted less. I wanted no Benicio del Toro.
Oh, you didn't want any?
No.
I love him as an actor. Like, so if you're gonna put him in, I want him, but like as like a main character. But yeah, I love the Holdo maneuver. Like that scene is like one of my favorite scenes in any Star Wars movie ever. Like just the way that that's shot and like the silence as it. Oh my god, it's so good.
Oh yeah, and Kid with the Broom for sure. Super way into the future will be a Force user.
Right.
Maybe one of the ones that oh no wait, no, that's later. I was gonna say maybe one of the ones that Kylo Ren kills, but no, that's after Kylo Ren kills the and after Anakin kills the younglings.
Right. Right. I do love that picture that has been going around on the internet of Hayden Christensen and then the kid who played that kid in that scene. Like, but they're adults and they were clearly just at a convention somewhere. Yeah, I just like that picture. Anyways, so yeah, porgs. Hell yeah.
Porgs.
Listen, the greatest Star Wars creature ever created. All because Ryan Johnson saw those indigenous birds on that island where they were filming and then wanted to create a creature to sort of represent them.
You can create birds all day as far as I'm concerned.
There you go. We need Wingspan, but the Star Wars version.
Yes.
Yes.
So you could have Minox, you could have all kinds of fun things.
The porgs.
Porgs. I'm out. That's it. That's all I need. Just two kinds of birds. You got cave birds and you got porgs. That's it.
That's all you need.
All right, Mike. Top porgs.
Yes, top porgs. All right, my number 2 porg. All right, so my number 2 game with creatures in it. This is an old one. I love it. I've talked about it plenty, but it has so many different cool creatures in it, and it's Dungeon Pets. Now, the first thing I thought of was like the imps that you use as your workers. But no, look at all the cool little dungeon pets that you're actually trying to recruit to your little dungeon. There's so many cool ones. They all eat different food, they have different demands, so you have to play different cards during the demand phase. If you after you feed them, they might poop in their cage, and you should probably clean it up or they'll get unhappy. And if they get unhappy, you won't be able to sell them for that much money, which is kind of the whole key to the game.
Mike, I need you to teach me how to play this game. I've owned it for years and have never played this game.
It's so fun. I love Dungeon Pets so much.
At the same time.
I love this game.
A lot of Chavaddle, right?
Yeah, I think it actually will age pretty well. One of the things I love about this game is it's a Euro game that when you're done, you kind of end up having a story to tell. It's not always like, yeah, I beat you like, 45 to 39. It's a relatively low scoring game. But it's one of those games you're like, remember where like you bought that pet that it was the only one that I could afford. And so I couldn't buy any pets that round. And so I ended up just taking all of the food you needed to feed your pet, and then your pet died in its cage and you lost points because of that. Remember that game? It's just one of those. It just gives you these funny stories to tell, and it's not always about just points, but it's a very good game as well. And it has so many cool pets that you can recruit.
Oh, that ghost one is cool.
There's just so many fun ones in this game. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm digging it.
The expansion has a ton more too.
Nice.
It's a really good game. It's just I had to go through all the pets. I think that's all of them. It's solid. It has bidding. If you bid the most, you get to go first. And so you kind of group your imps into groups. And if I have a group of 5 and and you have a group of 4, then I'll go first, you'll go second. It's just really, really cool how you're kind of pre-planning your turn by bidding on the spots that you want to take. Really good game. Dungeon Pets, can't talk about that one enough. All right, my number 2 creature. I had to reference the Fallout universe at some point because it is probably my favorite video game universe. I did take a robot from this universe, but by far the scariest creature in the Fallout universe is the Deathclaw. As soon as you saw the Deathclaw, like if you didn't have decent gear and you weren't leveled, just turn around and run. That's your best bet. And honestly, you probably won't even outrun it because it's like the fastest thing on the map. But the Deathclaw is just this crazy, intimidating. I don't even know what you call this thing, but it's just so mean and scary looking. It has huge teeth and huge claws, and it's really fast, and it can one-shot kill you in a lot of these games.
It's basically the rabbit from Holy Grail, is what you're telling me. It's got huge, sharp, pointy teeth. It can leap. I mean, that rabbit definitely one-shots people. So yeah, that's awesome, man. That thing looks scary as hell.
There's just so many different kind of versions of it depending on like the Fallout game that you look, but like all of them, you're just like, yeah, that's not really a thing I need to mess with. It's just so mean looking, and that's just always what I loved about it.
Spoiled your armor.
But yeah, I always have loved this universe, and I just immediately thought of the scariest creature in that universe, and no doubt the Deathclaw was the first thing I thought of.
That's crazy looking.
Yeah, they are. I love it.
Yeah, they're just they're all so good. Like I said, every version of the game, even the older ones, you're like, oh yikes, that thing looks disgusting. Just a really cool creature and very scary to run across in any of the Fallout games.
Yeah. I sold my armor. I was so scared. That's so good. It's a Papa Gremlin. Yeah. I think Mike's got a theme here. Awesome pick. Man, I'm glad I never played Fallout long enough to encounter a Deathclaw, so I guess that was lucky for me.
You're correct.
That thing would have wrecked me for sure. Oh, if you feed it caviar after midnight.
Oh wow.
You get the Deathclaw. Otherwise, it's just a regular gremlin. Because we got standards.
No life.
Oh yeah.
No life.
Yeah.
And you're not wrong, Chris, but
well, is that a creature?
My attempts at an English accent are their own, at any accent really, are their own creatures.
That's actually my number 1 creature.
That's
all
awesome.
right, let's hear it. Tim's bad number 1.
All right, guys. I'm not going to beat around the bush here. My number 1 creature game is because it's one of my all-time favorite games, and it has been for 12 years now, and that's Cthulhu Wars. It's chock full of creatures. I mean, literally, yeah, you start off with cultists, but who cares? You don't do anything with those cultists other than generate power and control gates. Everything else you're doing in this game involves creatures, whether you're playing with Biakis or Dark Young or Night Gaunts or Wendigos. I mean, all sorts of crazy, crazy creatures. It's so good. Yeah, Nix, you got it, buddy. Nix knows what's up. That's just the base game. I literally have 3 trunks full of Cthulhu War stuff and a couple of things on top because I haven't put them into the trunks yet, which are like the albino penguins from it's not Call of Cthulhu, Mountains of Madness, And then there's like a alien cat expansion that they put out. But yeah, man, so many amazing creatures. 12 years. Chris, I thought it came out in, maybe it filled in. No. I backed this in like 2012. So I guess maybe I did get it in 2015 because it took a long time to fill.
Yeah.
I thought I had this at least in 2014. So let's say 10 years. Let's split the difference, say 10 years. But I've had this game for ages. I've been fortunate to spend a ton of money on a Kickstarter and got lucky because I really liked it. You know, and I've gotten it played. I've gotten my money's worth out of this thing. Yeah, this is a creature bonanza. It is straight up territory control, asymmetric player powers. They all do different things. But this game is beautiful. So much fun to get on the table. Again, you want a convention presence. You want table presence. People walk by and be like, what the heck is this? With the minis that are this big, you know, bigatures. That's Nyarlathotep. He looks like he's playing an air guitar. Yeah, and the hunting horrors there. So many awesome miniatures here. Yeah, just really cool. Lots of tentacles, lots of monsters. It is Lovecraft on cocaine and steroids, and it's a blast. I enjoy this game thoroughly. And when we said creature board games, I was like, well, that's my number one, and then fill out everything else. And because that is my number one creature board game, I did not put Cthulhu on my creature list because that's like, nah, he's got his own game. He doesn't need to also be on, like, look, like, let's pump the brakes on Cthulhu. He's cool and all. But so now I'll slide over to my number one creature. And this is the OG. Again, I talk about movies all the time. The OG creature in cinema. And I wanted Godzilla to be it, but it's not. There was somebody that came before Godzilla, and that is King Kong, man. King Kong is one of the first giant creature features ever, right? King Kong's where it's at. There's a new Godzilla King Kong movie coming out this summer, right? I just saw trailers for it when I saw Dune Part 2. They keep making King Kong movies for a reason. It's an awesome, iconic character. Whether you go with the symbolism of the movie from the 20s, where it is, you know, talking about slavery, or whether you just kind of shut your brain off and enjoy it for just like a giant monster movie. I mean, there's many ways that you can enjoy King Kong and appreciate King Kong for what it is. I mean, the effects at the time, there was nothing like it. You know, the storytelling and everything. And I really do not like the Peter Jackson version of this. And it's mostly because I really hate Adrian Brody with a passion, like in everything. But that's my own personal problem. But anyways, King Kong's my number one creature because he's just like the OG from movies. He's the one. He's the first one. He pops up in everything. He's a universally known figure, right? Like, Mike, you may have never seen a King Kong movie, but if I said King Kong, you know who I'm talking about.
Right.
You know, so I mean, it's like Godzilla, like the same kind of thing. Everybody knows who Godzilla is. Everybody does. You know, everybody knows who King Kong is. So Kong had to be my number one because he is the biggest, baddest, you know, the first one.
Literally, the biggest.
Yeah. Mamma Jamma out there, right? So King Kong, number one. And I really do. Nix, I appreciate the Bill and Ted reference right there. It's an Iron Maiden. Excellent. Execute them. Bogus. All right, Reed.
Yeah, going back to Cthulhu Wars. I almost put it on my list, but I'm like, Tim's gonna have that.
Reed, you know me so well.
I love Cthulhu Wars.
You enjoy it too. You're okay.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely be down to play it. I know it's probably going to take up your entire car. Well, if you bring it, I'll play it.
What I did at Origins, when we went to Origins, I just brought one tote because I played it with Sam Stockton and who else did I play it with? I played with a few people.
Juliano.
West. Oh, West. No, Giuliano didn't play it, but I did play it with West because West wanted to play it, and then West went and bought it.
Oh.
I felt like a proud papa because West went and bought it after Origins because he played it with us, and I was like, yay! So good.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, okay, Reed. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed Cthulhu Wars as well. Yeah, I might bring it to QSCon. Like bring one tote of Cthulhu Wars stuff to QSCon just so we can have a big old epic game. Because it is one of my all-time favorite games. I used to, and I've told this story many times, but I used to demo it for Peterson Games at Gen Con and would play it, for 8 hours straight, 3 days in a row. And I didn't care. Like I was just living my best life, teaching and playing Cthulhu Wars. If somebody didn't show up and we needed somebody to fill the seat, I just love that game. I've got a lot of hours and miles on that game. I don't care. I love it.
That's great.
Numero uno.
Good choice. Well, my number one, I don't know if this is going to get me any hate, but it's not a proper board game.
Uh-oh.
I have a little show and tell here.
Ooh.
This is my most valuable card right now.
You got it graded?
Yeah.
Oh.
Pokemon trading card game. So I probably about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit more, I did a lot of competitive Pokemon trading card game stuff, and I built so many fun decks. There's so much you could do. And so I don't know if we talked about this, but one year I was Ohio State champion. So I went down to Ohio. I beat a bunch of Americans. I was the Ontario provincial champion. I came second at nationals, went to Worlds. I got a free trip to San Diego for Worlds. Went 4-3 there, and won Eastern Canadian regionals. Came second in another one. So I had like a pretty fun run with that game.
Well, absolutely. I'm not going to give you any crap for that.
Yeah, I know Pokemons are dangerous in Canada, so we had to do it on the down low.
Yeah. And come down to the States. Come down to the States and wreck shop. I bet everybody's like, oh, who's this nerd? And then you just wreck them and then flee back to Canada. It's so good.
Yeah, we had a lot of, I always would build something that was just like outside of the norm. So I never played like pure meta. I would always play like weird cards that no one has ever used in a deck before, or like weird combinations. And Canadian Nationals that I came second, me and like 5 friends all kept this deck secret, and we all showed up with it, and we all got in top cut.
Oh wow!
Everyone.
That's awesome.
Definitely have to declare our Pokemons at the border. Canadian Border Control doesn't like us bringing them into the country, so
wow.
They only allow us 2 Pokemons a trip.
That's it. That's so funny. That's so funny.
Smoky, dark room back of the bar games you got to worry about.
I really, honestly, I spent a lot of time, and I still have it on my iPad, the Pokemon app, like basically, like not Pokemon Go, like the card game app, because you can scan the QR code and get free packs from when you buy packs, and so you can get the digital packs. And I've really, really, really enjoyed playing. Now, I haven't in a while, but because Marvel Snap killed me playing anything else. But I really did enjoy playing Pokemon on my iPad for like a long time. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah, it was pre-Trudeau. I mean, if I had won probably while he was in office, I would have gotten a handshake, but yeah, unfortunately.
So that 8.5 graded Charizard that you have, how valuable is that card? I must know.
So
Is that rude to ask? I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's not. It fluctuates. I think I think it's probably anywhere from like 600 to 1,000 or something.
Nice.
Yeah, and I've got a lot of old. Anyways, I've got a bunch of old cards that I got back in the day. Anyways, it's a great game, and I like that. I like that it's very different from Magic, because I feel like Magic came out, and I can probably name like 6 card games that are basically Magic. Lorcana being one of them. Sorry for the Lorcana people. Like World of Warcraft was Magic, Versus was Magic, Hearthstone is Magic. I don't know. Like everything's Magic. So when there's a card game that's actually different from Magic, I enjoy it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I played my share of Magic, for sure.
And it's not a bad game. I just like.
No, but it's different. You want to play something different,
you know.
And I like the bench aspect, and like trying to like get the timing of like, okay, I've got this energy, and I'm gonna pull off this big thing. But if you've got that critter like right out there in the front, and it's taking all that damage, you might not be able to pull off sort of that cool combo. There's just really cool things, and the way the evolutions work, where you can really pull some big swings in Pokemon.
Yeah, that deck I was talking about would spread damage to all of the Pokemon, basically on their bench.
On the bench, yes.
Yeah, so you would scatter damage kind of all around, and then you'd bring in Jirachi, which is this one Pokemon that you would like flip a coin for each energy on it, and you would get to devolve that many Pokemon.
Oh,
so
crap.
You would put damage on them so that their basic would die. Anyways, this is
I love it.
Not making sense, but anyways, you basically take off their top evolution and everything dies.
Right, because they lose half of their health, or they lose a ton of health when they de-evolve, and then because their max health goes from 120 down to 60 or 80.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that was brutal, but it was fun.
There was a card that I used to love to play. Was it like Whale? It was a whale thing, but it would always do damage to the bench. Like it would hit and it would deal damage to all the things on the bench. And so you wipe out the bench, and then you kill the one guy, and then he's got nothing to put out there. You win. There you go. You don't need to get all the prize cards. You win.
Yeah, exactly, Chris. Yeah.
You bench damage, son of a bitch.
Also, shots fired. I don't know if you saw that comment.
Oh, yeah. You aren't good at Magic. You played Pokemon.
That's great.
Yeah, if you didn't have the money to invest in Magic, you played Pokemon.
Yeah, but that was a lot of money too.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah. I don't know what was worse, to be honest. But I'm gonna name my number one creature, which is also Pokemon. Yeah, Mike, we want to hear some thoughts on Pokemon.
Yeah, Mike.
Oh, very little. I've played the Pokemon game though. I've played it. I've played it a couple times actually. It's not bad.
No.
I've never played Magic. Chris was probably waiting because I was some guy asked me about my opinion on Magic, and I've never played it. And then like Chris was an earshot of the whole conversation, and then I find out he's like a Magic player. So I'm sure he's just like, like, oh, let's hear Mike's uneducated knowledge of Pokemon. I've actually played that one, so there you go. I know very little.
Awesome. Well, my Pokemon is Xatu. It's a weird one.
Which one is that one?
It's spelled Xatu.
Oh, I think I know. I gotta bring up a visual.
It's the totem bird.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think the reason I like it is because when I guess my cousin had the Game Boy with Pokemon Gold or Pokemon Silver.
Oh, okay, yep.
And I remember him having just like a really ridiculously high level Xatu. And I'm like, when I get this game, I want that.
I want a Zatu.
I
Yeah.
wanted that too. Now I realize it's like super weak, but I think it's badass.
But at the time,
At the time, yeah, exactly. So yeah, Zatu and then Cubone's kind of like a close second.
Cubone's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cubone is pretty cool. I thought the Cubones were awesome. I liked the what are they? Scizor. I liked those guys.
They're cool, yeah. They're some of my favorite, I think, too.
But now, did you like Detective Pikachu, the movie?
It was okay.
I thought it was fun. I saw it once. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I took my kids. We had a good time. It was fun to see like the big screen. You know, you see them all. You know, sort of realized in a neat way.
It's a cool idea. I feel like the story was like, it was okay.
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
but like it was cool. It was cool to see them in live action for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they needed a vehicle where it's like, well, look, we can't just have Pikachu just saying Pikachu all the time. Like, so we need to find a way to make it so that we can, you know, have him be funny as well. You know what I mean? Like, do something as well. Because American audiences are dumb and they're not going to just want, you know, Pikachu, you know, all the time. It's not going to be enough.
They want at least a Pika.
So.
Yeah, a Pika. Yeah.
Oh, Tamagotchi. That's a callback.
Mike had a pocket monster, but then got in trouble and got suspended from school for his showing people his pocket monster.
I didn't even know you were there. That's amazing.
Oh, dude, stories traveled. It's small communities. Like, do you about that kid that showed everybody his pocket monster?
Oh my word.
Oh.
How many Tamagotchi died on a dresser? I'm sure many.
Probably all of them.
All right, Mike. What's your number one game and your number one creature?
Well, there's a whole bunch of these creatures in here, but I've talked about this game a ton because I love it, but it has some of my favorite creatures in games. So very fitting is Lost Ruins of Arnak. Because the Guardians.
Yeah.
The Guardians. They are one of my favorite things in this game. I just love the way that these are drawn. They're just so epic. I always look at the art when I reveal these things and just how cool they look.
Yes.
You know, I really like the exploration mechanic in this game. It's like not only am I going to have a new worker placement spot, but it's also going to be guarded by a guardian, and I've got an opportunity for points. And I like looking at the art on those guardian tiles every time I draw them. If I can find more of that art somewhere. The Guardians are just so cool. I love this game so much. And I also got to throw in that at Gen Con last year, I met Min and Elwin in the CGE room and talked to them for a little bit, and actually was with your sister who was fanboying over them way more than I was. And then I noticed that Min had a Guardian pin. I was like, oh my God, that is way cooler than the ones they have over on the table over there. And he says, yeah, that's because they aren't selling them this year. Grabs one out of his pocket and gives it to me. I'm like,
you lucky
these are like
bastard.
the nicest people in the world. Yeah. It is such a cool pin. I have to find the Guardian that it's from, or I should have just, grabbed the pin. But that's one of my favorite parts of this game. The
Great
Guardians
pick.
are so cool.
Yeah. No, that's a great pick.
Great.
I love the art and the components to this game. I like the gameplay. I like that it's deck building and worker placement with resource management. It just does so many things well.
I need to play this again. I bought it for like $20 at like a bargain bin place, and I was so excited, but I haven't played it since. But yeah.
It's a really solid game. I personally prefer it over Dune Imperium. I know they get compared all the time. It's only because of mechanics. They're not similar at all. And release date. But I prefer this one because I like the resource management, and it works much better as a 2 and 3 player game. Dune Imperium really, I don't enjoy it 2 at all.
All right, Wayne, enjoy your kickball game. No, I don't know who you're pulling for, but I hope your team wins. My boy is obsessed with Messi. He's never seen a soccer game in his life, but he does. He watches enough YouTube that he likes Messi.
Nice.
He likes Messi.
He does.
So yeah, the Guardians.
Go Canada.
Uh-oh. Get Reed off of here.
Reed is disconnected.
Rivalries have started.
Check his Pokemon. Check him for Pokemon. He's smuggling them in.
You're gonna get me kicked out of the country.
They're kind of covered. I'm just trying
Pokemon
to find
over the border.
They just look so cool. Here we go. There's a few more. Anyway, love the Guardians. I do as well, Evan. I love both, actually.
Well, I mean,
Top
that's the
20
thing
for
is
me. Both
you can
games.
enjoy both. Like you don't have.
Right.
It doesn't have to be this or that. People are.
There
dumb.
doesn't have to be a line in the sand between Arnak and Dune Imperium.
And then Canadians.
Yeah, so it's
I
like
can
I'm drawing a line in the sand in U.S. versus Canada soccer. So.
Yeah, that's where we draw the line in the sand.
Yeah.
And while they're saying beware the Shai Halud, because he's coming for you.
All right, my number one creature. This is Cult of the New. If I've ever seen it, I don't care. I'm a bandwagon Star Wars fan, and that's why I'm not ashamed of my love of Baby Yoda, aka Grogu. Is he not like the greatest, cutest creature ever? Like,
super.
What
cute.
is messing with Grogu as far as cute creatures? And
Grogu's the best.
I mean, it was the first one I thought of. I'm like, that's my one. What else?
Yes.
And that is why IG-11 made my top 10 robots list.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I snuck Grogu onto 2 different lists here recently. I love that series so much. I've rewatched The Mandalorian now. I love that series. I really do.
It's so good. And the whole tie-in, like, it's been good consistently, but I just love like introducing Ahsoka. Like that episode was crazy good.
Yes. I'm not gonna lie, the Luke Skywalker scene like brought me to tears. I was so excited. I was so excited when that happened. And maybe I was emotional because at that time when that aired, that was like height of COVID, and my wife and I both had just got COVID. And it was kind of like a scary time too, because you didn't really know like everything about it. You know, you're like, are we gonna die now? You know, like you're just like, what? You know, there was no vaccinations yet. Like you just were like, you pull up to a doctor's office and they would come out, you know, like in basically hazmat gear and like test you in your car. Like, don't get out of your car. Don't make too much eye contact. You might catch it. You know, like nobody knew anything about it. It was terrible. That show came out, you know, like those season 2 or whatever came out right around that time. And that,
finale was like, you're not expecting it.
I wasn't. I was like, what's happening?
Yeah. So cool.
Yeah, Grogu's the best, Mike. You're not wrong. Grogu's amazing. He's adorable. He's only gotten cuter. Like if I've got to watch Star Wars and it's going to have Lizzo and Jack Black in it, it better also have Grogu is all I'm saying.
That episode was so bad.
Great pick, Mike. Great pick.
Yeah.
I also have several Grogus running around my house somewhere. We've got a ton of Grogus and Porgs. Yeah.
All the Grogus and Porgs.
No hate from me. I would be worried that Grogu might try to eat a Porg should he encounter one.
Yeah. Although it would be cool if he somehow got along with one and he had his own series where it was like Grogu and a porg.
I would watch that so much. We got to come up with the name of the porg though, right? Like it's got to be like Grogu and
Grogu and
Schmeckle. I don't. That's not a good name, but
Squawk the porg. I don't
Squawk.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, Chris. I don't know what the Lake City Game Fest is, so I'm gonna say no, but maybe
Warsaw. I think it's on a weekend that doesn't work.
Is it underwater?
Oh, that'd be cool. We could play Underwater Cities. We could play Aquasphere. We could play Oceans. We could play Abyss.
Ooh, you're on fire.
Yeah, that's why. It's Saturday, March 23rd.
What's happening?
Oh, Survive. Survive.
Oh, Survive Atlantis.
Lake City Game Fest.
There we go. So many good ones. Ooh, you could play Unfathomable because you're trying to not.
Yeah. Endeavor, I think. Yeah, any of the pirate games really.
Yep.
Would be excellent.
There you go. Oh my gosh. What an awesome list. Reed, do you like Dune? Are you a Dune fan?
Yeah, I like Dune. We're seeing it on Saturday.
Okay, cool. Now, have you read the books or seen the old one or anything like that? Like,
no, none of that. I saw I just saw the first one of the remake, I guess, or
yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, it's Dune Part 1.
Imperium. I am Team Dune Imperium. I have to say, although I respect other decisions.
You're allowed to like both. It's just people get so worked up about it.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was like Star Trek, Star Wars, right?
Right.
I like both.
I like both. I don't care.
I have a Dune. I have that Dune Betrayal right here.
Ooh. There you go.
I have too many games that are the same.
I have regular Dune. I don't have Dune Imperium, but I did like it. It's really tight, though. Man, Dune Imperium is really tight. I want that new Dune game that they
War
just
for Arrakis.
Yeah, I really want to play that. And then we got Evan over here quoting Weird Al, which I'll say Cisco. I'll just throw a wrench in that one.
Wow.
Say Cisco.
I think I'm team Picard, but it's only because I like Next Gen better. I don't know.
I mean, Next Gen overall is a better series, but Kirk had the better movies.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Yeah, Janeway's pretty great.
Janeway's a badass, but I haven't seen enough. That's one of my softer spots in my Trek fandom. And I say Cisco because I did like a rewatch like 2 years ago, and because I'd never seen Deep Space Nine. So I watched all of Next Generation, all of it, and then went immediately into Deep Space Nine and then watched all of Deep Space Nine. And I was like, holy crap, Deep Space Nine is so amazing. So, but yeah, anyways, I need to watch Enterprise. I haven't watched Enterprise.
The first thing I thought of when I heard Cisco.
When you hear Cisco, you got to go.
Naturally.
But Wrath of Khan is like one of the greatest, not just Star Trek movies and not just science fiction movies, but just one of the greatest movies ever. Man, Wrath of Khan's so good. Twisted Thong Song and that Twisted Metal show. Yeah, has anybody watched Twisted Metal on Peacock?
I tried.
I watched. It was. I made it through. I
wanted to like it.
It was interesting. I really like Anthony Mackie, and I really like the main actress. I want to call her Rosa because that's who she was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
She's in that?
She's in the Twisted Metal show. Yeah, she's the one that doesn't talk. She's also the voice of Mirabella from Encanto.
Oh, okay, cool.
Which
I
is
like Encanto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stephanie Beatrice. Yes.
Yes, she's great.
Yeah, she's great.
I think with a Z. I think I don't know. Anyways, Z. Sorry, Z. Do you guys have a favorite creature themed video game?
Yes. But the creatures don't really have names that I remember. But
That's fine. What's the video game?
Did you guys ever play Monster Rancher?
Oh yeah.
So like I used to have this game Monster Rancher for PlayStation, and I believe Monster Rancher 2 might have been for PlayStation 2, or maybe that was Monster Rancher 3. But you literally just go through your house, grab every CD you have, and you put it in your PlayStation, and it gives you a new monster. And I remembered buying a magazine that told me, this is funny because Monster Rancher actually got me into some bands. Because like the Clash Combat Rock CD gave you like a unique monster. And then I was like, oh, I like Should I Stay or Should I Go? That's on this CD. Like, and then I just started listening to all these other Clash songs. And I'm like, the Clash are amazing. So like 14-year-old me is just like grabbing every CD I could find. I was buying CDs specifically to put in there. So Monster Rancher is definitely my favorite creature themed video game.
So I never played the game, but I really liked the series. It was a TV show.
The Monster Rancher was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had no idea. I only ever played the game and was obsessed with it, like for ages. Because
you should check out the TV show with your kids.
Because you get the monsters and then you battle them against other monsters and you can level them up and you can train them and then you can go exploring with them. It was so cool. Loved that game so much.
That's awesome.
Loved that game so much. Mike, do you have a favorite creature video game?
Actually, one I was thinking of was the Contra games from the original Nintendo, because all of the boss fights were like these big, like epic monsters that you had to fight.
Did you say the Contra games?
Yeah.
Yeah. Up, up, down, down, left, right, A, B, B, A, select, start.
Economy code. Yeah. Otherwise, I thought of like Ganon from the Zelda games.
Yeah. Oh yeah, epic.
Or even Bowser from the Mario games. But besides like obvious old NES games, I was sort of struggling.
Oh, AB.
Yeah. Geez,
you know what? I would have got it on my second try because I would have tried it once and it wouldn't have worked, and then I would try the other way and I'd be like, oh, okay. All right. So, Reed, what's your favorite video game with creatures?
So, Pokemon Conquest, I think, is my favorite. So it's Pokemon, but in feudal Japan, and your warriors fighting for territory, and it plays very much like a strategy video game, where you have to like send your warriors in to like catch Pokemon, and then you level up your kingdom and your buildings, which give you different benefits, and then you can like build teams with your warriors, recruit new warriors, and like send them to war with other kingdoms.
So what platform was this on? This sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was Nintendo 3DS.
Okay. I have a 3DS in my house.
Yeah. You should pick that up.
Pokemon Kingdoms?
Pokemon Conquest.
Conquest. Okay.
It's so much fun.
Okay. I'm looking for this game. I'm stealing. My kids aren't using the 3DS for sure. Guarantee it.
Take it from them.
Yeah, it's mine now. I physically like just make a point to like palm their head and push them down to the ground as I take it. Like, what? I wasn't even using it. You can have it. That's the benefit of being a parent, is you can just
abusive father. Oh
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's a good list.
Yeah, Pokemon Conquest. All right, I wrote that down. I got to look that up. That sounds amazing.
I think it was a pretty limited run, but it was critically acclaimed. Like anybody who played it loved it.
Nobody said the Twiddleheads from Princess Mononoke. I couldn't remember their names, but I almost did the guys from Labyrinth that take off their heads and like toss them around to each other. Because you want to talk about like scary scenes from an 80s children's movie.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys were terrifying, but
I was trying to sneak in something from the Alice in Wonderland universe, but the only thing that felt fictional to me were the card guards, and they're just not that cool.
I don't know. The caterpillar Cheshire Cat is a creature.
But those are based on like actual living. I guess fictional, like not based on.
Sure. Because they're pretty anthropomorphic.
The Jabberwocky, yeah. But I guess I just think so much of like Alice in Wonderland. To me, a lot of it is based on the original Disney cartoon.
Sure.
And they don't really like the Jabberwocky. Basically, doesn't even exist in that.
Right.
So,
well, if you put Tweedledum and Tweedledee in Pal World, then you could catch them in a Pokeball, and I think they would be valid for this.
Then they become creatures.
Yes.
Or Alice. You could just put Alice in.
You just catch one and it evolves into two.
I like it.
I like this alternate universe stuff here where Jabberwocky was Jabba's cousin on Coruscant.
Yeah.
His father was a Wookiee because there was a Jabberwocky. The only problem is that Jabba's the name, not the species, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's true. I even tried to sneak like Pizza the Hut onto this list.
Pizza the Hut.
Yeah.
Gardula the Hut. Gardula the Hut gets no love.
Oh, wait. Is that from the Clone Wars movie?
It's from episode 1. She watched the pod race.
Oh, that's that one. Okay. I thought it was wasn't there in the Clone Wars movie, the animated one, when they had the little Hut baby, and I thought there was a Hut in there that sounded like it was voiced by Louis Anderson, and it was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. And I say that as somebody that really liked Louis Anderson as a comic and an actor and everything. But I'm a Hut. It's just it was terrible. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. Anyways.
Like this. Delicty.
I don't know. I don't know. It was terrible.
There's a Pokemon called Licky Licky, which is just like a giant pink dude with a tongue.
With the big tongue, yeah. Tim equals great impressions. Thank you, Chris. I know you're being sarcastic, but I don't care. It's not like everybody. Not like everybody's running around doing Louis Anderson impressions these days. Anyway, it's like top of the list.
At least one person.
Yeah.
I really wanted to sneak something from Aqua Teen Hunger Force onto this list. And
now you want a good impression. Reed, are you familiar with Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
I've seen, I think, a few episodes. Not super familiar.
You know who Meatwad is, though, right?
Is he the meatball?
He's the meatball.
Okay, yeah.
Mike, please. Mike does the best. Mike, when I first met Mike, and we're like, oh, we both like Aqua Teen Hunger Force, blah, blah, blah. That's amazing. And Mike's like, yeah, I used to do a pretty good Meatwad. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. Then he did his Meatwad, and I was like, oh, yeah, damn, that's good.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't matter what you look like on the outside. As long as you follow your dreams, no matter how crazy they are. Except for Sasquatch.
So now Reed, go back and watch 5 minutes of Aqua Teen, hear Meatwad, and that was it right there.
Everybody hates me because they either die or get hurt. Do what now? I love Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Oh my god!
But what I almost love, Meatwad is so dumb though, and I'm good at his voice, but really like the characters that I loved off of that cartoon were the Moonanites.
The Moonanites were the best. I am doing
So-
this so hard when he's like
So-
flipping them off.
You and your third dimension. Oh, nothing. It's cute. We have 5,000.
The Moonanites
It's
were my
so dumb.
favorite. They were
Oh
my
my gosh.
favorite.
So Aqua Teen Hunger Force, they were technically like these alien creatures that came to Earth, and they decided they were going to try to make money by solving crimes. And they just keep getting visited by these moon creatures that are like 2D. And so they just are, I don't know, they're just condescending and super sarcastic and mean. And it's just so funny. Oh my
The only
god.
creature I liked more maybe was the I forget what his name was, but that sentient mold that grew up out of Master Shake's room, and he's like, "You are such big jerks. I'm gonna go mow your lawn." And he's like out there cutting. He was like the nicest guy, and then Shakes just starts eating him because he's delicious. I don't know. Anyways, we quote Aqua Teen in my house all the time because the crazy mad scientist at the beginning, like those weird cold opens. Behold, corn. It's like what? And it's just like ears of corn, and then like that's it, and it just goes on to the show. Just weird stoner crap, from.
Where should I drape this primitive earth towel?
Okay, so Reed, tonight after we sign off, prepare to be inundated with rando clips from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Sounds good.
And just humor us and be like, yeah, those were great. You don't have to watch them. Like, oh, ha, ha, ha. So funny.
I'll be like those, the Moonanites.
Yeah.
Oh, how droll.
Your three-dimensional humor is amazing. Not. Yeah, no, the Moonanites were amazing. Mike.
Our race is hundreds of years beyond yours. Some would even say that the Earth is our moon.
Yeah,
well, that would belittle the name of our moon, which is, by the way, the moon.
Oh, that's it, man.
Oh
that is
my
it.
gosh.
Oh
Good
shit.
stuff.
This is awesome. All right. Reed, you're the best, man. Thank you for coming on, indulging us, being our friends.
It's always fun.
After all of this. Obviously, when the minute you have Rune Beasts stuff to show off, demo, please let us know you have a platform here. We want to talk about it. We want to share it. We want to yell to the world. Yeah, well, most importantly, we want to play it. But yeah, when you are even close to crowdfunding, publishing, whatever, let us know. We want to help in any way we can.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thanks for having me on. I mean, it's I'm always down to talk about creatures.
No doubt. Well, we're just gonna have you on again, and then you're gonna have to pick another, because the other fun thing about you picking a topic is it turns into like a dual topic, and then I get to just get extra nerdy like about other things, and probably it's like, unfortunately for everybody else, they've got to put up with like all the weird shit that I loved growing up as a kid, like Dark Crystal and.
Well, I got it too. I mean, we got some obscure picks.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to find Pokemon Conquest for my 3DS. You need to watch Dark Crystal and some Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Mike and I will curate a selection for you to give you like the best, experience there.
What's Mike going to do though?
What's what?
I feel like Mike needs an assignment too.
Well, Mike, watch Pumpkinhead.
fair. And I still need to watch the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie. I never saw that.
You never saw that? Okay. So
No.
here, actually, Mike, I'll give you a good horror movie to watch. Watch The Blob, the 80s version. There's a lot going on. It's cool and really fun stuff. I know you were bored by Dune, so I won't say watch Dune. Actually, you might enjoy the 1984 Dune because it's a little faster paced, a little weirder, and a little rapier. But yeah, I know I got you worked up now. But yeah, it's David Lynch goodness. So if anybody, if that isn't, if you are a Twin Peaks, you love the weirdness of David Lynch, then yeah, watch the movie he made instead of making Return of the Jedi, because he turned down Return of the Jedi to make Dune.
So Mike's got to watch The Blob, then he's got to watch Pumpkinhead.
Yes.
And then he's got to go back and watch The Blob again.
Yeah.
That's his assignment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Blob's good though, dude. I'll stand by that one. It's got some crazy effects and it's fast paced. You'll be fine.
Pokemon Conquest. Hey, have you guys seen the Avatar? The Last Airbender?
No.
No?
Are you talking about the live action Netflix one right now?
I mean, either really. I guess. I mean, live action just came out, so.
No, I am aware of a bunch of the Avatar characters because I played the Fire Nation Rising board game.
Oh.
And my daughter watched a little bit of Avatar because when I brought that game out, and she's like, oh, this is this person. And then they know each other because they do this. I'm like, beauty. But then she got into Demon Slayer. So then we started watching Demon Slayer before we could watch Avatar. So when she gets into Avatar, I'll watch Avatar with her. Or if my son gets into Avatar, I'll probably watch it with him because it's a great excuse to just sort of hang out with them and like enjoy what they love. But yeah. How are you liking the new series?
Oh, it's good. I mean, it's really good. The effects are incredible.
Now, is it as good as that M. Night Shyamalan adaptation? I
don't know. It's a they're tough shoes to fill.
Ooh, boy. Yeah.
It's got Mr. Kim in it though. From Kim's Convenience, if you've ever seen that.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a great show. I really liked it. I think, I mean, you've got child actors, so not everybody's going to be a great actor.
Well, they got to be better than the child actors in episode 1. So
they are that.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, for sure.
A Padres, hooray! Ugh. Anyways,
the Padres kids.
Oh, they're the worst. They are the worst. The worst. No, I think some of my problem with anime sometimes is like and it's a cultural thing, but it's like the over the topness of it sometimes, or like sometimes the inner monologue is just like, if I don't do this and then I do this, that he will defeat me. And it's like, well, I could just watch him do it and see if it happens. Cause I know if it doesn't work, he will lose. So naturally, but you know, my sensibilities are not always that, but I really, have been enjoying it because the creatures are really cool. And, you know, again, I'm hanging out with my kid. She's loving it and like keeps looking over at me to see like, am I having fun? So, and I'm having fun. So it's good enough, right? The story, the concept of the Demon Slayer stuff is actually pretty neat. So
I'll have to check that out. Avatar doesn't have any of those weird like monologues or anything, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Like generally it's Nickelodeon, so it's not.
Oh, right. Not too. It's like anime light then, right?
Yeah.
Because like even like Akira, right? Akira is like batshit crazy. I mean, very cool and very neat and very important, but man, it's weird. You just don't like plop down and be like, I'm gonna watch Akira. You're like, I better be ready. Because some weird stuff's gonna start happening here. But yeah. Yeah. No, I'm gonna check out that Avatar show for sure. Maybe I'll watch that, and then I will be like, "Hey, Mallory, you should watch this with me," and then I'll have the leg up.
Mhm.
And then she'll be like, "It's fine." Wait, hold on. Is Taylor Swift in the new Avatar? Because if she is, my daughter's gonna be 100%.
No.
Okay. Maybe she'll start. Maybe she'll start dating one of the cast members, and then it'll be cool.
Maybe. Yeah. You never know. Yeah. I mean, the people will watch if
That's true.
they get her for season 2, but she's
That's
probably
true.
quite expensive.
And then all the butthurt old white guys that can't watch football because they talk about Taylor Swift for 5 seconds during a football game, they can go back to enjoying football. And people like Mike and I can just enjoy football anyways.
Yeah. Exactly.
Correct.
Like, show us on the football where Taylor Swift hurt you. Come on, calm down, people.
My favorite part of that Super Bowl, by the way, was when I discovered that Ice Spice is the sixth Spice Girl, and I had no idea she existed.
Wait, is that true?
No, she was probably born when the Spice Girls came out. She's so young. But
I know.
I do really enjoy though calling Dune Spice World, even though it's
yeah.
Because I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. It's melange.
I can at least stomach some Spice Girls. I can't stomach Ice Spice. It's just not good.
I couldn't name anything Ice Spice. Honestly, until my kids got into Taylor Swift, I think I knew like 3 Taylor Swift songs. I mean, I'm aware of Taylor Swift, but I don't listen to the radio like our pop music channel. I either listen to classic rock or I listen to podcasts. But then my kids got into it, and then we went and saw like the Eras Tour movie, like in the theater, and I was like, oh, it's fine. And she seems like a really good human being, so I'm like, yeah, I'm good with this. Like,
you're filming it in theaters, so you can watch it at home later. I got
yeah. Or just wait till Disney Plus put it out, and then that was a thing too. So yeah.
I was so confused though, because wasn't there like a documentary or something about it? Like, wasn't it a documentary about Taylor Swift?
There was the Beyonce documentary.
Okay, but there's a Taylor Swift one, I think, that got like nominated for some stuff at the Golden Globes.
Oh, I don't know.
It went up against like real movies, and I was just very confused about that.
Like, why is this going against real movies?
It was like some concert tour thing, and it was
okay. Well, there's the concert, the Eras Tour concert, which is like literally you buy a ticket and you see her concert in a movie theater, which I think is great because I got to spend $20 instead of $2,000, to like take, my family to see Taylor Swift in concert. It was legit, like watchable. My daughter and one of her friends like went and they were just singing along like the whole time, and just having the best time. I'm
totally
just
ruined your recording.
Totally ruined my recording. And I'm like watching them eating popcorn, watching the show, watching them, looking at my wife going, look at that. You know what I mean? Like they're having the best time ever. So, it was fun. I'm glad for that.
Yeah, it sounds cool. I was very confused that it was going up against movies.
But here's the thing, unpopular opinion. I don't get Beyonce. I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
I think like Single Ladies is a fun song, and I really like when they parodied it on SNL when Bobby Moynihan and Andy Samberg and Justin Timberlake dressed in the black unitard and did the dance like as her backup dancers. Amazing. Love it. Other than that, I don't get the appeal. I mean, she's fine.
I like Kelly Rowland better.
Oh, see, there you go. The other, one of the other Destiny's Child. Mm-hmm. Right. So, I mean, whatever, different strokes for different folks.
There's not a Beyonce song that I want to listen to. I mean, I think Crazy in Love maybe would be the closest.
Oh yeah, that's a good one for sure.
But like, I love R&B.
I immediately thought of that Kelly Rowland and Nelly song.
Nice. And the David Guetta one's really good.
I don't know if I know that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I might know it if it was like, playing. I'll be like, oh yeah, I know this song.
Yeah, it's a great one. It's When Love Takes Over, I think it's called.
Well, that sounds familiar.
New assignment. I'll after the show here, I'll watch Tim's in-theater recording of the Eras tour.
You're welcome. Never mind that Dune popcorn bucket in my lap the whole time.
A lot of butter.
The shy halussi.
they have to keep the lights on to a reasonable level to make sure no one's doing anything unsavory.
Right. Well, the best part about going to see Dune, because Bob and I went and saw Dune on Sunday night, and we are in line to buy popcorn, and me and him keep making jokes, about it. And I think the person that was like serving us at the concession stands was really trying to figure out if Bob and I were a couple and if we were going to be like getting down in the movie theater. I think this person was just so confused by like what was happening, because we're joking about like popcorn buckets and this and that, like all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Because Bob,
popcorn bucket a Cineplex thing.
Well, it was, so we saw it at a Cinemark movie, and I believe it was an AMC promotion, and I don't even know if they had them in the South Bend movie theaters or not, but
so they did have them there,
but they didn't have them at the theater we were at because it was a Cinemark theater, and I don't think they were doing it in the Cinemark theaters. I think they were doing it in the AMC theaters. And so
it seems like Canadian Cineplexes have it. So hey, if they have it this Saturday when I go to Dune, I'm gonna buy it.
You better buy it. And then you bring it to QSCon. Just bring it to walk around QSCon ominously. Like, I'm going to bed. And then you just storm off with your bucket. Like, well.
Or I will not leave this popcorn bucket unsupervised.
Come out of the bathroom with the popcorn bucket with like a lit cigarette. Just like so many things. Bye, Nix. Evan.
So much better.
We'll see you later. Yeah, no, that's I love it. I love it. I need to send you the TikTok that I sent Mike, which helped Mike actually understand Dune better. Mike thinks Dune is boring. Couldn't get through it. I get it. That's not a criticism on you, Mike. I'm just stating your experience.
If you haven't read the book, it's not a good entry point.
Well, it's also like a 500-page, 37 different characters, lots of like layered themes. It's not like a book you could just like casually read either. It was a book I was very excited to read, so I dove in head first, this and that, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, if it's not just, I don't know, it's not a casual read, it requires some investment. Ironically, the second book is a lot easier to read and it's like half the size. But was that Dune Prophecy? And then it gets really weird when you get into like Children of Dune and God Emperor of Dune and stuff like that. Reed, have you read any of those?
No, I haven't read anything Dune.
Oh God. Oh yeah. Wait until I won't spoil stuff. It gets real weird. I'll just say that. You thought it was weird. Now it gets way weirder.
Nice.
But anyways, Reed, thank you so much for being on. Thanks for hanging out with us. I hope after this and us threatening to violate your popcorn bucket, you still want to come back and hang out with us.
Of course.
We promise to clean that bucket before we return it.
This is why I don't leave it unsupervised.
Also true.
Yeah.
Also true. Which is also dangerous because Mike famously likes an audience. That's all I'm saying.
A bit of an exhibitionist, especially when there's extra butter involved.
Yeah, if you hear like a meatwad voice and some grunting, look for the bucket. Or don't look for the bucket. Just
you're not that.
Oh man, you
my
guys are
God.
the best. Mike, do you have anything else before we sign off? We let Reed go back and regret all of his decisions.
I
tonight.
know. It was a blast. Looking forward to playing Rune Beasts.
For those of you that don't know, Reed has Vigilante. Everybody should go find that. Paranoia Rising Games. If you go to Tin Robot Games, you can also get Catnip Auction House, which is a super fun, light, very cute game. There it is. He got it. They're right next to each other. Strong recommend for both of Reed's games. And if you turns out you really like Vigilante, then you should also then get Hidden Motives, the expansion for Vigilante. So yeah, you know what's really funny is the timing of your Vigilante coming out and like shows like Invincible and The Boys and things like that. Like great timing because like what a fun sort of alternative take on like the superhero genre and like what you were doing with that. So
Can't wait to bring back more of it.
I can't wait to play more of it. It's so good.
Story mode.
So good. Story mode.
Yes.
I need a legacy Vigilante in my life or campaign driven.
Exactly.
Vigilante.
That's exactly what it is. You'll get to play a copy when the lengthy development is over.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's getting there.
Let me make a note. Don't completely alienate Reed until he's done with his Vigilante legacy game. So leave the popcorn bucket alone. Shai Halud will wait. The spice must flow.
You
All
always
those
buy
things.
your own popcorn bucket.
Fine.
They're going for $100.
Yeah, that's true. They're crazy. I'd rather spend that $100 on Pokemon Conquest, to be honest.
Yeah. Something better buy.
Yeah, right. And less awkward if you're caught with it. You're like,
Exactly.
oh, it's just a 3DS. No, he wasn't doing anything to that popcorn bucket.
But not as awkward as me watching In the Dark solo, Tim's in-theater recording of the Eras Tour.
Which is like, Mike, you have Disney Plus. Just watch the regular version. You're like, no, I got to watch that.
No, Tim said this copy is great. That's unbelievable.
Gotta watch the reaction video.
Yeah, you're going to love my running commentary. Why is she doing that? What is she seeing? Huh? I can't hear her. I can't. What is she wearing?
What are you doing to that dude bucket?
When is she gonna sing Single Ladies? Just like get all those songs wrong. I thought Puffy was in this. I don't know. Anyways, all right, guys, you've been awesome. Reed, yet another all-star appearance. Cannot wait to have you on again. I will let you have your night back, though. Thank you for giving us so much of your time. And thank you for everybody watching. For the Board Game Rundown, I've been Tim. Oh, wait.
I've been Reed.
Yes.
That was Mike.
We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks again.
We'll see you guys.
Good
next
job,
time.
Stonemeyer. A 7.3 repeating. Heating.